me second it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Rolls to Astonish, where we're actually checking out a Kickstarter game tonight. Wow, it's been a long time since we've done that. We're checking out Lone Wolf Fists from developer Joel here. Joel is... I'm your host and eternal... Not GM this time, for once. Steven, I will be playing the role of Nuke. Also joining me is the creator of Lone Wolf Fists, Joel.
That's me, baby.
And he will be our GM for today. Also joining me today is Michael Harmon, who is a longtime artist in the tabletop industry.
Hey, yeah.
You want to introduce who you're playing?
Yes, I'm going to be playing Desert Sage, a war hero from the clan of Nobles. And he rejoins the group to repay an old debt of honor to his battle brother. And he carries a big blade, a grand blade.
Also joining us...
I wrote that, by the way. Everything but the Grand Blade.
Also joining us Also joining us today is AOD Aod Amalo.
You could just call me Josh.
Yeah,
we're going to go to AOD. Hello is the much simpler option.
Yeah. Well, it was from a name generator in Neverwinter Nights, actually, from way back, and ended up just becoming like my handle.
I'm so happy about that being the reason you have that name, AOD Adamalo.
Yep. So, but my name's Josh, and I'm playing Stoneblade, who is a hot. I can't say that word.
Really?
A naive treasure hunter who's searching to reclaim a legendary artifact called Heaven's Tear. It's somewhere nearby, I think. But the coolest thing is I've got a blade called Meat Drinker.
Mm.
Oh my god, I want that name described on my tombstone. Died because of Meat Drinker. Because I just want people to puzzle what that meant.
I'm gonna just get that tattooed on my bicep, Meat Drinker.
That's a pretty good one. So far, I think it's been my favorite thing.
Also joining us today is Already Dead.
Hello. I'm playing Spiteful Prince. A small psychic visor is convinced his destiny is to rule.
Visor?
That's what it says. So essentially, a visor is the right hand to a ruler. So
that's a vizier.
Yeah, vizier.
A visor is what you wear when you go play golf.
Fine, vizier.
Also wore a visor.
He's a sentient golf cap.
But he joins the group to seek source of immortality.
You know, Joel, next game I want to play a sentient brick.
Wow.
Psychic powers. Also, last
we
but
should
not
all
least,
play inanimate objects sometime.
Last but not least, joining us is Lucky Luna.
Hello. I am playing Hero, the last of his kind. His clan, the 5-star spirits, was okay, I'm going to read normally. Was slain by their foes, the Shadow Vipers. He joined the group to seek vengeance against the flesh-eating sage. Scary motherfucker, that is. I'll tell you that much. I don't know anything about him, but it sounds scary.
I actually...
He's
thinking
here to
about
get
flesh-eating sage.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, do your intro, and then I'll introduce how...
He's here to get revenge for the person who killed his master. I don't know who that is. Don't know who the master is either, but we'll all find out together.
I guess we're gonna... Alright, so...
I didn't name the master in the module. I meant to change that. But, like, I named him in the playtest. So, you might get lucky, and I might have my playtest notes nearby and have his name. Otherwise, he will have two names. The name I gave him then, and the name I'm giving him now.
The name that we'll make up on the spot. Alright,
all of my skill at naming you've seen.
Alright, Joel, you want to...
Is it going to be Steve?
All right, Joel, you wanna guess rolling here?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so as you know, the setting of this world is the world of Ashes and Ghost, a post-apocalyptic nightmare that's really powerfully based on Fist of the North Star, but really has elements from a lot of my favorite trashy 90s anime. So you got a little bit of Vampire Hunter D in there, a little Ninja Scroll, touch of Akira, etc., etc. So it's quite a melange. There's even some Trigun in there if you really dig for it, or if you look at the Kung Fu style with guns, which has a ton of Trigun in it. Anyway, so it's post-apocalyptic wasteland where there are 7 surviving great clans, all of whom have kind of cornered the market on 2 distinct varieties of mystical martial arts. But the world is more or less, still a nightmarish wasteland. And not only is it like a nuclear apocalypse, this was like a kung fu magic nuclear apocalypse. So in addition to all the atomic fallout, there's actual like demons and monsters rampaging around. So that's always fun. You guys, you heroes, have previously met before, and so you kind of know each other by reputation.
Hang on. What's happening? Okay, wait. All right, hang on.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, we lost sound for a second there, and now it's back. We're good. Everything's okay.
Okay, cool.
Everything's fine. Everything's
outstanding.
Totally fine.
I'm very convinced by that. I see no reason to doubt it whatsoever.
No reason to doubt anything.
Who doubts what he says?
All right.
Who doubts? Not me.
So all of you kind of know each other by reputation, and a few of you have seen one another in action. This is the first time as a group you've done something. You've actually all been summoned by special invitation to a Brotherhood of Freaks monastery in the mountains here. They have given you a very special task, which is to deliver this mysterious package to Twin Souls Bow, who lives in this far southern tip of this peninsula. They warn you that traveling through there, you're going to encounter a war zone between the Shadow Vipers and the Warlord Flesh-Eating Sage, and Luckless Chuan, who has a holdout on the northmost tip of the Golden Lions territory. So it's a dangerous mission, but it pays very handsomely. The only stipulation is the prayer seals that are currently sealing the large oblong wooden box that this thing is in cannot be in any way tampered with or damaged, or else the contract is null and void. So, being more or less honorable and also having your own motivations for accepting this, you've agreed to travel together in the meantime to basically just to deliver this package. Now, I would like to point out that you do get XP for delivering the package, but I in no way want to force you to. If you guys want to rip that open on the first scene like my last playtest party did, I ain't gonna stop you. This is not a off the rails kind of playtest thing. It's actually kind of designed to get messy. So, without further ado, let me actually take my own advice for once and read the description of this first place that you're in and trigger the event, which are all kind of ways that you do stuff in this game. You just straight up go from description, event happens, and then it's going to be, what do you want to do? And now, I have not given you a crash course in the mechanics yet, but we'll get to those as we get to those because, and you're going to find out, they're very straightforward and intuitive, and once you've done them once or twice, they are second nature. So, mostly what I want you to do is just roleplay your character, describe what you're doing, and then if I need to slow it down, I'll interrupt you, and we'll have some mechanics take center stage for a second. Okay, so the first place you go to, coming down from the spine of the world mountains, is Scrap Village. It's a village of tin and adobe, which greets the travelers as they descend from the icy mountain trail. Its inhabitants are sunken-eyed and withdrawn. Its conquerors, tanks parked and weapons slung, stride through the quiet streets with wicked satisfaction. So yeah, you come into this little town. It's basically a shanty town of shacks and adobe huts and what have you. And it's at the entrance of a box canyon, which is filled with this constantly churning ash and dust and smoke because there's just this wind howling down from the mountains. So your visibility is a little bit limited. As soon as you guys get in here, the pillory in the center of the town square, you guys see a scuffle break out between a small group that doesn't look like they look like more of these like surf survivors who are just like haggard and withdrawn. They actually have weapons unlike everyone else in town. There's only 4 of them, and there are 20 of these other kind of dudes that are here that are clearly the conquerors. They're wearing bright pink and purple and black, and they've all got not necessarily uniforms, but they look like they're kind of wearing the same size colors. They're much better fed, they're much more muscular, and their weapons aren't quite as tarnished and ancient. So it looks to be a relatively one-sided fight. But you guys see it break out more or less as soon as you kind of hove into visibility of this pillory in the center of town. So, that's all from me. What do you guys want to do?
Well, Nuke's gonna be like, is just sort of gonna crack her knuckles and be like, all right, let's even the fucking odds here.
That's a very Nuke thing to do. Now, in an earlier version of this game, or in this particular playtest, everyone had their own way of gaining XP through their actions. In this one, it's just you gain XP as a party when you do things. So there are different things to do, but that's an incentive to keep together instead of splitting off into different groups, which is what the other set of rules tended to encourage, for the record.
Yeah.
So, if you want to go and fight, what you'll do is take a single d10, or you can use our dice spot here, and just roll it, as I'm going to do physically over here, and get a 3 for my bad guys. They kind of suck.
I got 1.
Well, they suck less than you. All right, so.
Big suck.
The nuke.
My passive power says I get a 2d10 for initiative. Does that affect that?
Absolutely. Instead of rolling 1d10, you'll roll 2 and choose whichever result that suits you best. It's almost universally better to go first, but there are a few styles, including the one that I was designing just now, that actually benefit from going last. So I'd suggest going first for most characters.
So as they're all prepping for a fight, I'm just going to use telekinesis and shove them to the side, like parting them, and just walk and say, out of my way.
Oh, so you just like make a little path for yourself?
Yeah, just
okay. So go ahead and toss that too. But that'll be what you're doing, because you're clearly not trying to hurt anyone, but you're still gonna be like kind of.
Well, I don't care if they get hurt. I'm just moving them.
That's fine. Just go ahead and roll initiative 2 if you want to. You can also take last if you really want to. If you're just like, nah, I don't want to fight. Okay. So you put Prince down.
So on that, I do have a question. Sure. Reading through Stone Blade, I'm guessing I'm somewhat sneaky.
You're super sneaky. And actually, if you want to, I can give you some fun introduction to how the sneaking mechanics work, because they had to get developed pretty significantly.
That's what I figure if I'm going to start into a fight, I think I'd want to do it hidden.
Wise. Okay, so prior to anyone actually fighting, go ahead and take 1d10 for every point of your effort pool, and go ahead and give them a roll. And we will go and introduce those mechanics to everyone, because again, they're not super complex. This is how one takes action.
So 1 point for every effort you have? So if I have effort 6, roll 6d10?
That's right. Yep, roll them, and then what you're going to want to do is, if you're doing the dice spot, you can just read them. But if you're doing it physically, what I like to do is kind of group them, so that all the ones that have the same number are together, and they're just in sequence from lowest to highest. So, like, let's see if I can angle my camera down and show you guys.
I just rolled 2 1s, a 6, and 3 9s.
Oh,
that's amazing. That is a really good roll.
I just rolled 2 10s, a 7, and a 1.
Just one at a time. Just one at a time. Because I'll get to you.
I didn't know you were writing it down. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm not writing it down. I just want one person acting at a time right now.
By the way, Joel, real quick, I think there's a typo in Nuke's sheet because Fire Discipline Motion and Atomic Dragon Mudra have the exact same description. I just noticed.
Oh, wow.
Otherwise, I would have told you earlier.
You back?
There we go. Sorry about that. I dropped
there
out for a second. Can you say all that again? Starting with the typo?
Yeah.
I'm here. I dropped out for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was the typo?
Fire Discipline Motion and Atomic Dragon Mudra have the exact same description underneath them.
They should have very similar descriptions, but they are actually different.
Are they?
They are. They should be.
Yes,
different-
they are.
the difference-
They are
the-
different.
The difference is total area covered. Okay.
Yeah, it affects a larger area. You'll also note that the rank is higher on Atomic Dragon Mudra. Those are extremely similar techniques, one of which is
Okay.
simply a souped-up version of the other one.
Okay.
I noticed
Saved me a
the difference
lot of fighting doing
because
that thing.
Fire Discipline Motion says something about a flamethrower, while Atomic Dragon Mudra doesn't.
Yeah, they're little differences, but they are different. Anyway, what do you, okay, so you got your dice set out in front of you with your effort. Let's go back to that. So to take an action, in this case, it's kind of a pre-combat action. What you want to do is choose one of your sets. It's a group of dice. The 9s are probably the best. The way you read that is the number of dice in the set is the tens column, so 3 dice would be 30, and the facing on the dice, the number that's on the top, is the facing, and that's going to be a 9. So for 3 9s, it's a 39. For your 2 1s, it's a 21. I think you rolled a single that was just like a 4 or something, right?
Yeah, 6. Yeah.
Okay, 6, that's a 16, because there's 1 die. It's a 6 facing, so it's a 16. So that's how you read dice. And once you've got your rank of that action, you're going to want to use one of your skills. In this case, senses is what you use to hide. You also use it to seek, so it's the hide and seek skill. And the way taking actions work when it comes to skills is you compare the rank that you got to the effect chart of the skill, and that kind of tells you the range of action that you can now describe. You basically boosts yourself up. You will also note, this is a slightly advanced thing, that your some of your techniques have skills listed in them as well. You can use those techniques outside of combat to boost those skills, as long as you have a sufficient amount of product to do so, which I'll get into that in a second. For this case, we're going to go on back up to get a 3, and I'm actually going to look at the document I have here. This is admittedly kind of a weakness in the game. We actually have to have these things in front of you to be able to figure out how they work. Let's see. Where are my skills? Here under basic, I think. Yeah, here we go. Using magic kung fu. Skills. Yeah, here we go.
Do not touch.
Alright, so rank 3 with senses is what is called peak mortal. That is the best a human being could reasonably ever expect to get. If you're using it actively to observe things, it allows you to notice well-hidden or extremely subtle details, like uncovering a spy's false identity by observing their body language, or smelling a poison in cooked food. If you're using it to hide, this tells you the kind of terrain you can hide in. So in this case, a partially concealed spot, such as within sparse vegetation or a dim room with no furniture. Now, here's the fun thing about that. Remember the description earlier? I was talking about how everything looked and how there was like basically a dust bowl going on. Well, that description matters now, because now you have the ability to hide more or less anywhere within the terrain that you want, because there's limited visibility. That rank 3 allows you to do that, and so you get all the benefits of being hidden, and you'll note some of your techniques have special powers when you're hidden as well. So that's something you just will go into this combat with, because you've got that rank 3. Now, that doesn't last forever. Whenever you take an action, it only lasts for that action, in some cases for a combat round, or for just the length of that one action. You, however, have the ability to sustain actions. This is one of the powers that your focus gives you. I think you have 1 focus slot as a strong hero. You can take that whole action, rank and everything, and put it, kind of save it in that focus slot. And you can sustain that throughout turns, and that just lasts until it becomes irrelevant. In other words, you're spotted by someone, or until you choose to drop it and use that focus slot for something else. So we can assume that before the combat started, you found a nice hiding place, and you're just going to hold that rank 3 hiding action until you want to attack, in which case you'll pop out of cover and kill somebody. So
Right.
how all that works. I'll get into the chakra and prana. I just realized I'm not sure if I updated everyone's character sheets specifically with how the new prana rules work, so we may have a touch of confusion there. But that's okay. I think I have at least Desert Sage is a strong hero that's got the right stuff. So I'll use his sheet to make sure I've got that right. Wait, no, she's right. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I totally did it right. I'm awesome. Yeah, never mind. I rule. Okay. Okay, so Nuke's cracking her knuckles, going to kick some ass. Slate's hiding. The prince wanted to go last. He just wants to get out of here. He's like, no. I've got other stuff to do. I don't care about these people. What did you want to do, Michael, with your desert sage guy?
So these dudes obviously look like bad news, right?
They do. Actually, because you're a member of the Golden Lions, you get to recognize two things. Number one, you can see subtle heraldry on the guys that are getting beaten up, these rebels, that links them to the Lions. These are knights errant. So these dudes are in training to become a Golden Lion like you. And their enemies are some of the sworn enemies of the Lion, Shadow Vipers, who aren't always strictly evil, but they do evil stuff. They do black magic versus devil, and they're assassins. These guys are clearly low-ranking Pud Smacks, but they are in training to become extremely deadly Pud Smacks. So you get all that information just by being a Golden Lion. Good job for choosing the hero.
All right, nice.
Done better.
Yeah, I'll approach with Nuke with just using my regular form, and let's see here.
There's all kinds of moving parts, so if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Given
All right.
I've just written all of this stuff, so I may have to reread it and remind myself what I was trying to do. Full disclosure.
All right. Let's. You know what? I'm gonna start out with a. I'm gonna start out with a trick. The senses-based action, blinding foe with the light reflected from my blade.
Oh, where you like hold it up and shine it. Okay.
Right.
Now that's something you're gonna have to do in combat, but you can
Okay.
kind of like. So go ahead and roll a d10 for initiative, and we'll see where you act.
Okay.
Oh, also Stoneblade, go ahead and roll me a single d10 for initiative as well. So I'll put you in there
I
somewhere.
did that first. What did I get though? I got a 4.
4. Alrighty. You are faster than the Pud Smacks.
Ever so slightly. We're all ever so slightly better than the shitty
I got a 5.
NPCs.
Oh, look at you getting in there like a boss. All right, Hero, anything special you want to do before we get to this ass kicking?
Let's get slow. We're walking up. I'll follow Nuke.
Hey.
I'll stick his hand in his pocket and start walking up there with Nuke. And just getting ready for a fight. And I rolled a 6 on.
And you recognize the Shadow Vipers as well. This is the clan that wiped out the 5-star spirits, with the sole exception of yourself.
And by the way, as I recognize the Shadow Vipers, I'll say verbally, Shadow Vipers.
Yeah.
Just so everyone else in the group kind of hears it, and with the derogatory tone.
Nuke's just like, I don't care who they are. They're all gonna fall just as easily as anybody else.
I like that she's clearly walking into this trunk.
What happened while I was gone for about 30 seconds?
Stop.
I heard something.
Oh, that's cool.
Stop.
We were cracking jokes in your absence. Basically, Desert Sage revealed that these are Shadow Vipers of everyone, and Hero got communicated that because like the Shadow Vipers wiped out the 5-star spirits, that Hero is very well aware of what their heraldry looks like. Now these guys are obviously too young and inexperienced to have actually like in any way participated in that massacre, but yeah, same clan.
And like that matters to Hero?
Probably not. Oh really? It's a little vengeance, huh? Time to kick some ass. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, he's just gonna pull his hands out of his pocket and get into fighting stance.
Nice. All right. So looks like
I rolled a 6, by the way, on my initiative.
I did note that you are actually going to be going fastest unless we have an upset. Now check this out. When combat starts, you all get to roll your effort pools, and those are going to stick around for each combat round. So for the first combat round, you're going to roll at the beginning of the round. line up all your dice, and you'll be using that to take actions. Now, just like outside of combat, you're mostly limited to one action. However, you can do bonus actions if you have sets of 2 or more matching dice. So the basic idea is that you can't just use every one of your dice. You can only use the dice that form up. Here's the fun part of that. Your techniques, as you'll note, have their own ranks. If those are 2 or higher, those also make attacks, and they can combine with dice to make attacks as well. So it's very possible for you guys to spend your prana and get flurries of kung fu actions, even if you don't roll any sets. So I'm going to roll for my bad guys real quick. I'm actually going to just have 10 troops attacking, because I sort of want this to be a cakewalk. And
we can handle 20. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
Give us 50. Give us 50 of them.
50. Well, I initially had 20 in this, so you're not too far off.
Also, real quick,
again,
what on these techniques and abilities and such? What's the cost referred to?
How many prana?
In magic go-go juice, your prana that you'll be using.
How much do I start with?
Very little, as you'll note.
If you look at your
this is a good time to introduce the prana stuff, because I did promise previously that I was going to explain it. Here's me explaining it. Okay, so under your effort, effortless, all that, you're going to see the initial chakra. Now, everyone has 7 chakra. The initial one is merely the first one that is open. In the case of enlightened heroes, like Hero, I think you actually have 2 chakra open.
I do.
Because you are all low-degree characters, the amount that gives you in your pool is relatively low. As you become more powerful, not only do you start with more open chakra, those chakra produce more prana at the beginning of combat. So, your chakra will open as you power up through fighting. At the end of every round, we're going to pop another one open, and that's going to increase the amount of recovery you get. The pool that's listed on the far right of that is 3 for most characters. I think it's going to be 6 for Hero. The pool is the amount of prana you begin the combat with. It is a very low number.
Okay.
And the recovery, the one that's right before that, is how much you get at the end of every round of combat. So you'll note that combats start kind of low-key, and then you power up through them and get more prana every turn. Now, right now, I didn't actually think this through, because this is the newest draft of these rules, but I didn't think this through, that your chakra open at the same time that you recover, so it's unclear whether I intended you to recover first and then open a chakra, or whether I wanted you to open the chakra and then recover. I'm going to be a jerk about it and make you get your prana back first and then open a chakra to be used next round, because that seems like the jerkiest move, and we'll see if it works. And if it doesn't work, hell, I'll just change it. It's not like this stuff is written in stone. Hey, the bad guys actually have stats. I forgot about that. Okay, so
whoops.
You guys have your effort pools. These guys, so these guys are just normal people that have some training. So they're considerably less powerful than you individually. However, because they have been trained, they can attack as a group. What that allows them to do is take their single effort die each and roll them all at the same time. So these 10 guys get to roll a total of 10 dice and link them up as though they have one big effort pool of 10, which makes them pretty sizably powerful.
If they're all targeted together against one target, I'm guessing.
What's that?
If they're all attacking one target, I'm guessing.
They just act like one big character, actually.
Mm.
So they can attack multiple characters, all kinds of stuff. Now, they only get to do the same number of attacks that you guys do. So in the case of them, they can only attack once with a single die, and they don't have any magic to increase that. So they have to naturally roll sets to attack more than once. So there are some drawbacks to it. Let's see. I actually have these guys' powers. I don't, so I'm just going to scooch on over to, I think, our only unused character. One of our only 2 unused characters, and use her stats for it, because she's got the bad guy powers. Yeah, they actually have the form technique, Fiend of Hell attitude. So if they roll 8s, they can boost their attacks. It also allows them to hit spirits. If they roll 4s, they can use that to boost their defense with Demon Skin Defense. And if they actually had any magic, they could respire hell-based chakra. Unfortunately, they don't have magic, so that doesn't do anything for them. And even further, unfortunately, they're nowhere near a node of demonic energy. So it sucks to be them. But yes, so we've all got our dice, all our pools rolled. Now, before combat starts, if you don't like your initiative, you can do as these bad guys are about to do and bid for a higher result. Bidding is actually kind of awesome because you'll note you rolled 1d10 and we didn't make it into a set. So whatever the facing was it. But if you bid a die, it immediately boosts the result by 10 and the facing. So like these guys rolled a 13. That's a really crappy thing to roll as a single die. It's one of the lowest results you can get. But in initiative, that's awesome. If they bid that 13, they'll go faster even than Hero, who only got a 6. They'll take them from one of the last places to act to the very first place to act. The only way you guys can beat that is if you bid your own initiative. Drawback of this, of course, is that you are losing the dice you bid. So if you bid this 13, they can't use it to attack, and they can't use it for defense. It's gone until they roll it in their next round. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to bid up their initiative, so it goes to 13. So that sucks, because they get to go first. Unless one of you guys would like to use some of your sets to go before them.
I'm not going to bid anything because I'm going to go last no matter what.
Fair enough.
I'll bid. Hero will bid.
What are you bidding?
I guess I will bid. Okay, I'm at 6.
It's a good
I
one.
guess I'll bid. I'm trying to math real quick because I rolled a 7 earlier too.
That's cool.
The effort thing.
So what are you
I'll bid a
mathing?
10. Fuck it.
Remember, a 10 is actually, because if you rolled a single 0, and that's rank 1, so 10, facing 0, so 10. You bid a 10, you'll go before anyone else. They have a 13, so they will actually go before you. You get how that works?
I don't think I understand how bidding works because my thing was a 6.
Yes, so you rolled a 6.
And,
You should have rolled your effort dice, which was 4, right?
yes.
Got those all
So
lined
the
up.
bid replaces
I
your
rolled
initiative, right?
2 10s, a 7, and a 1.
You want to bid
cool.
your 7 because a 10 counts as a 0 on the.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I'll
Yeah,
bid
those
my
two
7.
together would be 20, and that 7 would be 17. Okay, so Hero's beefs all the way up to 17. Well done, Hero. You're actually going to go before them. That's nice. It's real nice.
Can you
Okay.
continue the bidding after that? Like if because
Yes.
the
Bidding
okay.
goes till everyone's done. And it's kind of a way to naturally draw off the effort. They're actually not going to go any further. They're cool with just one dude going before them. How much damage could one dude go? Let's find out. Does anyone else want to bid before we go?
I got sneaky before combat started, right?
You did. Now that doesn't make you
Okay.
go any faster, but that means you can't be targeted unless they find you, and they have to use their effort to beat you. And it's very unlikely that they can get a rank 3 to see through your clever ruse. So sucks to be
Probably
them.
feel a little bit more safe with someone being cocksure going forward. So
Oh, yeah, there's no real reason for them to be on the lookout for hidden adversaries. So yeah, you're gonna saunter on up to them, Hero. They've noticed you and they've stopped fighting the rabble that they were beating up, who are all now looking at you guys expectantly and kind of confusedly, like, who the hell are these dudes? So, Hero, you're going first. What kind of cool shit do you want to do before you utterly wreck these fools?
I'm gonna saunter up to him, just hands in my pockets, just a slow walk, looking for anyone who might be leading this small group of Shadow Vipers. I'm gonna stare him in the eyes, and I'm gonna just start wrecking shit.
Nice.
What do I want to use?
It's a good question. Okay, so let me keep your character sheet real quick. I'll go.
So what does a
I'll look at it
mudra
while
mean?
you're. Okay, so there's different kinds of attacks with your techniques there.
Yeah.
Let's start with your form, and then I'll give you the ones that require actual prana. So the form is kind of always on. What it does is it allows you to take special actions with different facings. So in this case, you actually have all weapon fist, which is facing 0. You can use that with your 2 zeros, and it'll pair with them. And what that does is with your bare hands or feet, you can gain the power of any single weapon, basically like anything that's not like a gun or a bazooka.
Or dynamite, because we've talked about that.
Or dynamite, as we had talked about. But you could say point at someone and use your finger like an arrow and hit them at range, or use your karate chop to gain a +1 rank to your attack like you're using a sword, or you could do like what one of my characters does, all his fists together and smash someone's skull in as though it was with a melon hammer and roll 2d10 more damage to utterly splatter them everywhere. Like, it's a very versatile thing, and that doesn't cost you anything. You just have to roll the right facing. The same thing with Fist and Feet of Steel. If you happen to roll a 9, you always have the option to just increase that thing by +1 and have a rank 2 attack that you can just like beat somebody up with, and that works with your punches or your kicks. So it's a very versatile kind of attack. Impenetrable Block Drill is a good defense. You'll notice it's a lower facing 3, because those lower dice kind of suck to attack with because they're unlikely to get through a good defense. But they're awesome to defend with because even though they're not likely to completely blunt something as a low rank thing, with impenetrable block defense, you'll be increasing its rank by 1, taking it from a relatively lame 13, as we just discussed, 13 suck, to a pretty beefy 23, which is way harder to get through. And again, you only need a free armor leg to do that, so it's pretty easy to make certain, even later into the combat when you're getting your ass kicked, your bones broken, you continue being able to fight. So that's basically when you've got the forms, you got to think of those like the bonuses you always have on. They're more or less class bonuses. Now,
And what about Unbeatable Master of Styles, gaining advantage or
Don't
lose
you dare.
disadvantage?
So,
at the start of every
please
round
take
of
this
combat,
away.
you gain advantage if you don't have it, or lose advantage or lose disadvantage if you don't have it. So right now, because you are the unbeatable Master of Styles, you are using the greatest martial art ever invented, you immediately have advantage. Just like Stone Blade has from being hit. When she attacks, she'll have advantage. You just straight up have it. That's how good your martial art is. Yeah.
I like Hero now.
Go find him.
There's a reason the Shadow Vipers were scared of these dudes, okay? And you've not even begun to kick ass. So make a quick note that you have advantage, and you can use that to increase any attack or any action by 1 rank. And when you spend it, it goes away, but you just have that option just sitting there until it's gone. And you get that afresh every single round. Usually you have to have a good positioning or otherwise have described yourself in a way that you've earned advantage, much like in D&D 5th edition. In this case, you just get it. You're just amazing. So, bravo to you. So, going into your other
right one.
I think so. I think you have 6 prana because you're an enlightened hero. So you actually have a little more to spend than everybody else right now. You'll note the techniques, the cost is how much prana they're going to require. Now, your prana leaves whenever you spend it, but as we discussed, at the end of every combat round, you're going to be getting a bunch back. In this case, I think you actually get 12. You get a ton of prana back. So next round, you're going to have plenty, and when your chakra will open, so you'll have even more next round. But right now, you've got 6 to play with. So if you want to use an attack, let's say you have a mudra, you have prana catastrophe. That's a really good mudra. Or you have a what's your
Pressure Point Strike.
Oh yeah, the 3 gates closing finger. Is that the one? Huh?
No, Pressure Point Strike.
Pressure Point Strike. Okay, so this is a mudra. There's different kinds of attacks, and they all require arms or legs or something. All right, so a mudra, unlike a punch or a kick or something, is basically a kung fu spell that you use. So what this one does is infuses any strike, period, dot, with harmful vibrations. So you can use a weapon, you can use your bare hands, whatever. And instead of wounding them directly, what it does is it screws with their internal harmony, creating something called aggravation. And what this does is create what's called an imbalance, which is a way more severe form of an injury. You lose health levels in this game, and when you lose them all, you drop, just like losing HP. But you also get something called imbalances, which are negative status effects that stick around. They represent wounds, or in this case, they represent you doing the Kenshiro thing, where you poke them a whole bunch, and their head explodes. You'll note right under that you see the prana catastrophe imbalance.
Yeah.
So
I just saw organ failure.
Mm-hmm.
And the
I'll
body
go ahead and read it
rips
out
itself
loud for full effect. When you get this imbalance, your body is paralyzed, your muscles tensed into unresponsive lumps, your limbs act as though you're catatonic, remaining as they're posed by others. Why did I write that? That's hilarious. You can't take any active action nor move. You're mobile and rooted to the spot, unable to attack or act, although you can still speak. And although you can defend yourself, you A, have to describe your defense in terms of your paralysis with flopping unresponsive limbs, seize joints, spastic movements, etc. And in addition, you have disadvantage. So it sucks when this thing happens to you. Here's the even better thing. If the rank of the imbalance, and imbalances as they get worse become higher in rank, ever exceeds your remaining health, and these guys have 1 each, then at the end of the turn, they gain 1d10 more aggravation per rank towards a different, even worse imbalance, the organ failure physical imbalance, and that will cause them to die. so yeah, that's how that works. It's a pretty mean technique you got there. And I think you have both Pressure Point Strike and 3 Gates Closing Finger, which do that, are different versions of that, which give people aggravation. So if you want to do a Pressure Point Strike, you go right on ahead. You'll note the facing that it says is any. Most techniques have a facing in a range, like all direction defense is 0 to 3, for instance. You have to have dice that have that facing to add that power to them. But with Pressure Point Strike, because it's so versatile, you can actually use it with any facing that you roll no matter what. So you can take any set you have, increase its rank by 1 for the cost of 3 prana, and throw that at them like an attack. So that's what you want to do. Let's go ahead and do it.
You know what? Since only one that I might as well use it. I have 2 tens.
You do.
Let's use it on Pressure Point Strike.
So, 2 tens is a 20 or rank 2. This is going to increase its rank by 1. So it's a rank 3 attack. Now here's the other thing. Remember when you had advantage earlier? If you
I was about to say I want to throw it up there.
Okay, so that turns it into a terrifying rank 4 attack. Now, I'll not bore you with the specifics of how the dice math works, but it's extremely rare to get high sets and more common to get multiple sets when you're rolling. So getting high sets has a different value in the game's rules. The higher set you can generate, the more powerful an effect you can get, both in the effect chart and, as you're about to see, in kicking people's asses. So they actually have a really good set of 3 that they roll. They roll 3 sevens. That's their best foot they're going to put forward, and they're going to try to block your attack unsuccessfully, I'd like to point out. With that, 3 sevens, as we've discussed, is 37, and the way attacks and defenses work is you just take your attack, 40, rank 4, and you subtract their defense, which is 37. They use up their amazingly good set, and they still take 3 aggravation. So in a one extremely powerful and specific attack, you attack them, 3 of them leap up to try and defend themselves. Like, as you start attacking that guy, and he's like, oh, whoa, holy shit, this guy's got, like, kung fu. And 2 of his mates come over, and through all of their attempts to defend themselves, you still manage to poke each one of them in a pressure point. Now, it's not enough to actually do any significant damage yet, but that aggravation is going to stick around. So I'm going to do the Prana Catastrophe on them here. Right now it's ranked 0, so it's not doing anything. But it does have 3 aggravation. So that's your first thing you want to do. And you can act with a single die. There's some nuance to whether or not you want to. Yep. Because you're not using any weapons, you can actually do that twice, which is a superpower that you get from being unarmed. Because unarmed needs to have its own thing.
4 attacks, right? Since I have 2 single dice.
Well, let me see. Or is it I can attack with 2 single dice? 2 single dice. There you go. And you should have 2. You should have 2 single dice remaining. So if you want to launch them both as attacks, be my guest. And not only that.
Yeah, I have all weapon fist.
So. You do.
He used his 7 with his initiative.
Oh yeah, I did use my 7 with my initiative. That's right.
Oh, that's right. That one's gone. You only got 1 left. Now you can keep that around to defend yourself too, if you prefer to. Because you can, as you just saw, having a good set for defense can really save your bacon.
Yeah. You know what? I will use it to defend myself. I'll go ahead and I'll keep that for defense.
That's a good idea.
I'm assuming, do I have to use it like right now to like activate if I use my defensive technique?
Oh no, you'll get to choose when and if they attack you if you want to use that die to defend yourself. And we'll get to that whenever we have them take their turn, which is actually now. All right,
Okay.
they actually have two really impressive sets. But they're going to kind of break off into two smaller groups of 5 because they can tell that something's going on at this point. Like, they saw how good you were at fighting, and they're like, oh, okay. So those 3 guys are going to stay on you. They're actually not going to attack. And the remaining guys are going to move into the larger body of the troops here. Let's see. Who looks the scariest out of all of you guys? Probably Desert Sage and Nuke. I think you guys are kind of at the front of the conga line, so you guys get to get attacked. Good on you. Good on you, mates. Okay, so my good Desert Sage, they can recognize a golden lion because they're currently in a war with them. They're like, oh, okay, now what's going on? So they're going to devote their best set of 2 9s to you. It's a 29. So basically, they're going to have a guy coming at you with a lead pipe, and another guy coming at you with a knife, just kind of like trying to scissor you with them. So you've got some dice in front of you because you're awesome like that. Would you like to use them to defend yourself?
Sure.
All right, cool. So what they've got is a 29 to punch you with. So you can use any one set of your dice to subtract from that. So like if you like, what did you roll? What do your dice look like? Because like I'm not.
Yeah, I rolled a 7, 3 6s, a 5.
Nice.
Yeah, a 5 and a 3.
5 and a 3. Okay, so you rolled a really good 36 there. The other ones are a little bit small, but not terribly so. Like, for example, and you'll note the value of the dice is kind of interesting and uneven. I actually really like that about the way the dice map works. Because, like, sure, a 7 is decent as an attack, but as a defense, it's amazing because it winds up being 17, which really sucks away a lot of the juice from an attack. So the 29 will only do 12 damage. That one. But you may want to use some of your abilities here in your form or something like that to see if we can't boost that up a little bit.
Yeah, I have. Well, first of all, on my form, I have +1. I have +1 rank to block with the sword.
Sure. Now that requires a facing of 3 on the die, so you have to have at least one die of the 3 face to use that.
Right. Well, I do. I have 1 3.
That'll be right. And you have a sword in your hand, so if you use that, your 13 will go to a mighty 23 with no additional stuff on your part, and you'll only take 6 damage, which I think is pretty good, honestly, because you're taking a whole set of theirs and you're just going, nah, I'll take a little bit of that.
Right.
Please.
Yeah, that sounds great. I also yeah, I mean that actually sounds pretty good. I also have a zealous counter, but that has a cost of 5.
True. I mean, it's a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, that is expensive.
Yeah.
I cost these wrong? They seem a little expensive to me. I thought that usually it's supposed to be 3. Oh wait, no. You know what? I think these are right. Yeah, because it's a counterattack. Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I gave you all the expensive ones. Oops. I may have to change his technique mode out. This was done in a few minutes.
So yeah, I'll just go with my form.
You will take a mere 4 damage from their attempts. You just like ching ching. They didn't realize just how good you were with this massive sword, but they do get a lucky blow in and snipe you for 4 damage. Now, the way you take damage in this is you kind of off. We can take 5 if you want to.
Do what? No, it's fine. It's fine.
Sorry.
I'll just mute myself if she gets whiny again.
It's okay.
All right, say that again.
Sure. The way you deal with damage in this game is you kind of buy it down. The idea is even 1 point of damage over your health can kill you. So that you kind of choose whether or not you want to use your aura, which is just kind of like the magic energy you get from having awakened chakra, to just blunt the damage entirely. You can think of it as an expendable shield. Or if you want to take it on the chin and use your health. Now, again, because of your unbelievable kung fu training, your body's fortified with prana, so you're nearly indestructible. So most people have like 10 health levels, or 10 points of damage in their single health level. You have 6 health levels, which means you have 6 times what it takes to kill a normal human being just in your body. You're just that tough. The difference between taking it with aura, where you just kind of ablate it, and you'll note there's much less in that one, or health, where you have much more, is that when you lose a whole health level, in other words, you take 10 damage, you will get an imbalance, which is going to stick around and trouble you throughout this combat. Your arm could get injured, your torso could get injured, and you could start bleeding to death, or one of your legs could get injured, which would prevent your kick attacks and stances from working. So, if you want to use your aura, it would just be 4 points of your 10 that you have, and you would actually take no damage as the knife just glances harmlessly off your glowing golden aura of energy. Or, if you want to save that for later on, you could take 4 health damage right now, and just take a little cut and move on with your life, because it's not enough to actually create an imbalance yet. You will not need to record that, though, and make sure that you know that you've been damaged.
Okay. So would it make more sense to save that R for later on a stronger...
In a lot of combats, yes. In this case, I would just use it now, because I think these guys aren't going to last this turn. Because this is the high point of them right now, is attacking you and actually having a chance to do damage.
Okay, so yeah, I'll use my R then.
Alright, Nuke, you get lucky. You get 2 guys with mallets, both of whom try to smash you with them, for a total of 28. Ouchies. What are you going to do to defend yourself? And while you're thinking about that, I'm going to go pee, so I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'll do the same.
Bio break time?
Oh my God.
Maybe a good time for a quick break.
Yeah.
Because I've got 2 children trying to crawl all over me.
That's how children be.
Can you go find Mama? Kid, can you go find Mama?
I actually got some candied nuts at the mall. They're extremely delicious.
All right, so I'm probably gonna try to like spend like a die or 2 to defend myself.
Very wide. Yeah, 28 is a pretty mean attack.
Yeah.
These guys rolled surprisingly well. Usually these guys roll like complete putzes, and this time I got like a set of 3 and 2 sets of 2. So I was like, well, okay. I guess for once these guys will make a good showing before they die.
So do I roll my full pool, or is it like, am I betting dice on this and that I won't get to use to attack, or how's this work?
Okay.
I wasn't super clear on that.
Remember at the start of the combat after initiative when we all rolled our effort?
Yes.
Okay, so you got it all lined up in front of you?
Oh, I never rolled effort. Was that?
I didn't realize I was supposed to do that. I thought that was just something that you did. I thought that was just something you did as it came.
You do. At the beginning of combat, everyone gets to roll effort so they can participate like in the bidding and things like that.
Okay.
Because
that makes more sense.
Yeah, through the whole turn.
And
that's all.
And with that, I can toss in, like, since I get one that I get one effort die in my focus that I can toss in at any given time, I'm guessing.
Hmm? Yeah. So focus can do a lot of stuff. One of its primary uses is, especially for enlightened for cunning characters, is it holds dice at different facings. Right. So like if you roll a bunch of dice and you get through a combat round and you still have some left over, you can kind of just scoot them into your focus slots and save them for the next round, effectively increasing your effort pool for that round, which is a really cool resource. Now, because they actually have some disadvantages in health, the way I've compensated for that is I gave them the ability to just fill up some of their focus slots at the beginning of every combat with some dice of certain facings.
Right. Okay, so I got 9, 8, 7, and 3 and 3. So.
And then you also have a single focus slot that already has a die facing 1 in it.
Yeah.
check you out.
So I can use those threes to just like basically those threes and my 1 point of aura to basically just negate that attack entirely.
There you go. That's using your ass. Okay, so you can do that. You also, I think, have a defense here. Oh, you totally don't. I gave you a bunch of attacks. Well,
Yeah, it's all attacks.
there you go. It does actually sound like Nuke, so I'm not going to change her loadout at all. Deal with it, playtesters. Okay.
But what if I don't want to?
They will both hit you right in the belly with the sledgehammers and do no visible damage at all, and look very surprised as a result. Uh-oh. Looks like they bit off more than they can chew. And that's actually all from them. They used all their really cool attacks to completely fail against you guys, and I'm pretty much happy with that. And Hero has drawn 3 off and is, like, effortlessly kung fu fighting all 3 of them. So, that's Hero.
Oh my
That's
Allah.
the bad guy. That brings us up to Desert Sage. Ooh, this is going to be fun. So, my good Sage, now that you have a bit of a handle on how to do stuff, how do you want to mutilate these guys?
All right. So,
Oh my god. These nuts are super cinnamony. It's very good.
What
Okay.
are you eating?
Hmm?
What is it you're eating?
Nuts.
I got some like cinnamon candied nuts at the mall yesterday, and I'm just addicted to them. I just finished them off, so I'm gonna have to go get some more now. Oh my
Fair
god, they
enough.
were great.
Fair enough.
I guess we'll see you in an hour.
I mean, not right now, literally, but I will treat myself after this. Actually, I might go to Denny's after the second playtest for my normal playtest crew, because they were really addicted to this campaign after I ran this session for them. So that was a good
See
sign.
why
That was
it's
like
already fun.
isn't it? Like, and there's depth to it that you don't really suspect at first, because everything is like deceptively simple. Anyway, my good Desert Sage, weren't you blinding them with your sword? Did you have some kind of kick-ass thing you were doing there?
yeah,
I
yeah.
want that to happen so
Okay.
bad. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, so let me see. How does that work? Let me pull it up real quick.
Okay.
All right, so oh yeah, it's your facing. You need a facing 0 die to do it.
Okay. I
it's
don't
a
have a
sim-
facing 0, so.
Oh, okay, that's unfortunate. See, I don't think you can generate one either. Oh wait, I guess you could with Zill's counter, but that's only for a defense. Rats. Okay, so in this case, unfortunately, you can't use that cool trick, but it does. What it allows you to do is take a 0, which is kind of a turkey of a roll, and turn it into the power that the blind swordsman had from Ninja Scroll, where he would just reflect light off of his blade and blind people. I loved that so much that I made it a thing that you can do in this game every time you roll a turkey die.
Yeah, that's cool.
Also like that it implies that they are stronger when there's light around. That's kind of a cool thing. Now, mind you, they can generate their own light, as I'm certain you're about to do. But yeah. So, lacking your ability to zap their eyeballs to death, what would you like to do? You've got quite a loadout of superpowers here. In addition to your giant Buster Sword and just straight up whooping their ass with good sets, you've got, let me see. Oh, you know what? I gave you a bunch of expensive techniques too. I don't know if you can do anything in your first round.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I may have to give these another. Let's see, deals initial 1d10 damage if it hits. This slow, powerful thrust is expensive but deadly. So that's actually a really significant thing. Then it's part of the reason I costed most novice techniques at 3, because you have 3 starting out, so you're able to use them in the first round of combat. You'll note with these attacks, since they cost just over that 3, you're not actually able to get any use out of any of them in the first round of combat, and you'll need to wait for later rounds to use those of them. Now, mind you, if you have any facing 7s, then you can get a +1 to attack with your sword. But also your sword itself allows you to add +1 rank to any attack because it is a balanced weapon, which is what they do. They're just really, really good at fighting.
Very good. So yeah, I have 1/7.
All right.
And
That's a 27 with that power. And you could actually
right. And then also my Grand Blade gives me a +1 rank.
So that would go
attack.
37. Jeez. So you want to launch that at these poor schmoes?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, they have a 6 to defend themselves with, which is a 16. And this is the most math I make anyone do in this game that isn't the GM. I'm a little meaner to the GMs. But, so, you guys can take it. Come on. Alright, so what is that? What is that, 18 damage you do to them? Something like that? No, I'm wrong. That's 20... It's 21 damage, isn't it? Oh god. Ooh, okay. So 21 damage. That's mean. All right.
So after we use a die or dice, do we throw them away, basically, or?
Yeah, I'll throw them away till next round. And you get to roll again.
Okay. Right. Gotcha.
I guess you got to keep them around for defenses, assuming somebody comes after you, right?
Yeah, and remember, if you use your dice to attack, you will have less dice to defend yourself with. So timing when you do attacks is important. And also knowing when you can do them and when it's best to defend, and yeah. So there's a lot of little strategies for this stuff like that. But you do 21 damage.
A good reason to go last.
Yeah. Also, Stone Blade's powers, I was realizing, sacrifice her defenses to give her bonuses to attacks, which sucks if you go first, but is awesome if you go last, and nobody can exploit your lack of defenses. So I was like, well, that's neat. There's a style that actually benefits from going last. Because I actually made some styles that explicitly have special stuff for going first. So I was like, that's really cool. That would make a really good pair. Anyway, so happy coincidence has been 98% of my design in this game. So, okay, so the way it works when you injure troops, like I said before, normal people have 10 hit points. So when you do damage to a body of troops, you take out whole increments of dude. So every 10 is a guy dead. So the guys that attacked you, you just tore them both in half with these attacks, and the blood spattered in the eye of a third guy, dealing 1 damage to him as he gapes in disbelief. So, excellent vengeance there, sir. Oh my lord. Okay, so that's Desert Sage. That brings us to Stone Blade. Ooh, Blade, what you doing?
I think I probably tried to get to a nice vantage point behind the group so that I can use my Heidi stab thing.
You know what? That's actually a good point. Let me go ahead and scroll back up real quick to the description of this thing, because I got a thing here I want to tell all of our listeners about. Okay, so earlier we were talking about the distinction of what is a field. Okay, so the field here, the place where you fight, is, let me see, right here under the description in Scrap Village. All right, so I'm going to read it out loud, even though I wouldn't normally read it out loud word for word. There are ramshackle huts which surround a central square of reused lumber with a pillory. There's ammunition and supply dumps made of repurposed and bombed out adobe buildings, which occupy one flank of this. And there's a depot of unfueled, ammo-depleted tanks, which squat ponderously on the other flank. Finally, there's a near-empty grain silo creaking under its own rusty bulk, rising on the far end of the town. So that kind of makes this sort of like mental space from that description. And you can be in any one of those places, but if you want to move to a different place, a different area is what it's called, you have to use your movement to do that. You won't do that on your turn. So right now, you guys are right underneath the central square of reused lumber with the pillory. Like, everyone's kind of in that same zone. But because you did stuff before combat, you could be either hiding in the ramshackle huts, in the ammunition and supply dump, in the unfueled, depleted tanks, or the near-empty grain silo. And you'll note that all of those aren't necessarily like equally, like equidistant from each other. They all have this little place that they kind of occupy. So yeah, the underlined text that you can see on the description there is an area, and you are in one of those areas while you're doing something in that field. The only time you will leave a field is if you're trying to get a lot of distance between you and the bad guys, in other words, you have like a gun or a bow or something, and you want to make sure you're maximizing the advantage you get from the range, or if you're running the hell away. And in both cases, what that does is kind of broaden the scope of combat. So we'll get to that if we get to that. But I'm really pleased with the way those mechanics came out after the year of redesign that Adam Balderstone forced me to do. Curse you, Balderstone! Curse you! I'm sorry, what were you doing?
So with that update, so how are we approaching this group in this situation, or how's everybody else approaching? Because I was hiding.
They were on the far edge of town, walking through that central kind of like sandy town square area directly to the pillory, where the ever more hopeful beleaguered refugees were, and they just kind of beeline to them. Now, surrounding that on the two flanks, as I said before, there's ammo depleted tanks on one, and there's like an ammunition and supply dump on the other. Outside of that, and like a kind of a larger radius, are the ramshackle huts, and on the very end of those, very far away from all of this, is a near-empty grain silo. You actually had enough of a chance with your speed to have dashed to any one of those, and can launch your attack from whichever one you want. But I will make mention, you'll have to cover significant distance if you're in that silo, because it's really far away. Everything else is relatively adjacent.
So, like, for instance, if I was wanting to, like, Assassin's Creed style, just kind of like skulk around, like the outskirts a little bit to come around behind, and wait for my group here to make a distraction, so I could come out from behind, I guess.
Yeah.
So I assume they're somewhat distracted by my vicious slashes, and of course, after they fall on the ground, I yell out something like, fill the bite of a golden lion.
Yeah, when I hear that,
actually
I'm
get
like,
a cheer.
this is my cue.
That is definitely your cue. Okay, so you leap out to murder these fools. Tell me how you do it.
So my description here is Heidi Stab Thing, my move drive.
Yeah,
So
that's a working title.
right. So I'm guessing that's more like a backstab type thing, like
Yep.
So,
It's actually kind of a guerrilla warfare attack from ambush thing. Like that's sort of the style that she
call it
Okay.
bite of the hidden. Stop.
Bite of the hidden child.
Bite of the hidden rattler.
Bite of the Hidden Child. So I use my Bite of the Hidden Child to come out behind.
God, I hope that name doesn't stick.
Bite of the hidden rattler was what I was trying to say.
Yeah, I like Bite of
So
the
yeah,
Hidden Child
while
better.
they're not looking, I want to come across like behind the back of their legs, try to get a nice artery.
Yeah, that's a mean one too, because it has two really big advantages when you use this way. It requires you both to spend the 3 prana, and also it requires you to attack from hiding. But if you do those things, not only does it add to any dive, any facing, it adds a miraculous 2 ranks instead of 1, which makes it an extremely mean kind of attack.
So if I did that and I want to use my 2 1s with my meat drinker, does that make it rank 5?
Yes, it does. So you have
The
2
1?
21, plus 2 more ranks from the Bite of the Hidden Child. So the 41, the Meat Drinker, as we know, as a balanced weapon, adds plus 1 rank. So yeah, it's 51 to murder these fools, and this is not going to be good for them, because the only thing they have to defend themselves with is this 5, which is a 15. Now, mind you, if they run out of dice, which they're about to do, they still have their effortless defense. But you'll know if you look at the effortless on your sheets, that's pretty lame. Theirs is only 10. They don't have any armor on, and they're not particularly well trained. You guys also should have effortless of 1 for the most part for your defense. I think some of you will have armor, but I may not have updated your sheets with it. Armor will add to that number, so it's a little beefier than just 10. But yeah, usually effortless kind of sucks, so I recommend having dice instead.
So on that, a 1, does that equate to a 10? If we have effortless 1?
Yeah, so effortless 1 is
Okay.
the rank that it gives for you. Now, the other thing that effortless can do is outside of combat, you can take actions at that rank without having to roll any effort. So if you don't want to roll your effort dice to do something, you just kind of want to describe yourself doing something just flatly, that's the rank you take it at. And you'll note with the masteries on your sheet, you have masteries of certain skills. Like some of you have agility mastery, some have senses mastery, spirit mastery, etc. Those increase the rank of those actions by 1. So like, let's say you're really big and strong and you have a power mastery. If you take an action with your effortless and just describe your action, it is rank 2. When you look at the effect chart, you always get rank 2 power. So you can always deadlift 1,000 pounds more or less effortlessly just by describing it. It just broadens what you can describe yourself doing without the need for any extra dice or any appeal to any of your magic techniques or anything else. So that's the function of those, and I found it greatly speeds up out of combat play, which can get kind of clunky with the way. I mean, the effort pool works great in combat, as you note, but like it's a little clunky as a resolution system outside of combat. So that was kind of to compensate for that. Anyway, they've only got a 15 to defend themselves with, so you know that kind of sucks for them. They take a ridiculous 36 damage, and with the 1 damage hit before, that's actually a total of 37 damage they're going to be taking. So that is going to kill 2 more dudes, and the gore from the 2 dudes that you eviscerate spatters in that other guy's eye with a chunk of bone. So he takes 7 damage as a shin bone lodges itself in his face, and he shrieks in agony. So they are down to 5 relatively healthy guys and 1 extremely injured guy. The other ones having been eviscerated by our kung fu demigods, respectively. And we're not even done with the first initial round of you guys walking up and murdering them yet. If we're not doing this so descriptively and teaching so much, it would be going a bit faster. I hope you understand.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I think we have Nuke as our next. And Nuke,
What?
I remember your ability to murder things very fondly from previous playtests, so I'm expecting great things.
Okay. Well,
One
I think
question really quick.
I've got a plan, because it says here that since I've got my weapons is bare knuckles, I can attack an additional time with a single die, which means I get two attacks in a round. Now, most of these die are basically useless to me.
Welcome to those turkey rolls. Sorry,
but I'm gonna first open with the skull crack surprise, in the hopes that I can get this thing to work for me. Nope. So they'll just wham 1 guy, I guess.
All right, what's the facing?
It's a 5.
5? 15's not too bad. And he doesn't have anything really to defend himself with aside from effortless. So that guy takes 5 damage and promptly dies as you headbutt the shin bone further into his skull. So good on you.
Anyway, and further, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of those use my 1 focus die for a burning piston strike. That also counts as a flurry of fists because it's a facing 1.
Ooh, very nice. All right, now I want to make sure I'm doing that right. So let me double check, because you can only ever use a single technique of any type to increase a given.
Oh, you can't. I thought this is a form, so I thought it was just sort of like it just is constant.
Well, it is constant in that it doesn't require any magic, but it's still a technique. Some things stack and some don't. Techniques don't stack with other techniques. They do stack with weapons and advantage if you have it. But in this case, you wouldn't be able to like double dip and both use the body like flames drill as well as burning piston strike. You'd have to choose your favorite one.
Well, then, I mean, doesn't really make a difference. So
well, it does. Burning piston strike increases it by 1 rank.
Well, what's the +1 mean? I thought that meant a rank.
It does.
Yeah.
So Flurry of Fists could add to a punching attack, but Burning Piston Strike basically does the same thing. It just costs instead.
Okay, then we'll just do the flurry. We'll just do the Flurry of Fists then, because that's free.
Yeah, and here's the other thing about that: it increases it from rank 1 to rank 2, so that's a bonus action. So you still haven't used your single die yet.
Oh wait, what?
Yep. Remember, you can only act once with a single die, right? And having bare knuckles allows you to act with another single die. But anytime you increase the rank of a single die beyond 1, it's now a rank 2. Rank 2 and higher are bonus actions. You can take as many as you roll. So with Flurry of Fist, because you increase it from rank 1 to rank 2, that's a bonus action. So you still
Oh.
have your additional 1 die action from just your normal punch. And here's the other thing. If you increase another one with Burning Piston Strike, that will change it from a rank 1 to a rank 2, meaning that's another bonus action.
Oh,
Now
Jesus
should be
Christ.
seeing exactly how quickly Nuke can throw out her attacks.
Okay,
and
that's
idiots.
making sense now. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna throw the flurry of fists. Basically, she's gonna like, just wail on however many dudes, because there's 2 fighting her, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Well, 1 left now.
No. Well, that guy's dead. that guy's getting beaten into a pole. Just getting aura to death.
All right. So what's the rank on that one?
That's a rank 2 straight up. So
Rank 2?
it would be total 21.
Oof. Well, that guy's dead. So you mutilate that guy. That's 2 of your attacks. Do you have any more you want to throw at these guys? Because you're close enough, since you're in the same area, to just kind of move over to them and just start. Just
I'm gonna move over and throw another single die attack and hope to God I can combo it with something. Okay, well I can combo it with one of my effort die, right? That's how that works, or no?
Well, you use your effort dice to launch the attacks.
Yeah.
So what die are you using?
Oh, okay. Then I guess I'll use the 9 because that's all I've got.
Right. Well, it's still a 19. And remember, they've taken 3 damage. So amazingly, you'll just raise your knee up, smash some dude in the jaw, and kill that fool too.
Yeah.
That's 3 corpses, giving you the highest body count, all with single dice.
Yeah.
Dear Lord, there's only 2 of them left. Oh no, there's 3 of them left. Maybe I should have
Yeah,
put in
because
20.
the 3 in front of me.
Okay, so my good Silver Prince, I think you're the last one to go.
So, since they've all kind of spread out and gone after them, I'm just gonna walk through. Just gonna completely ignore them, just disdainful. They don't matter.
Disdainful. That is very on brand for Spiteful Prince. However, I mean, I don't usually see him walk. Usually he uses his telekinetic powers to float around like a complete fancy lad. You'll also note that his art is depicting him kind of floating around in a little lotus pose.
I
He likes to
I guess. I did manage to roll one dice roll it low enough that I could manage to trigger telekinesis.
He seems tired.
That's beautiful.
7
Yeah,
All
there
right,
we go.
so
Float around.
float away like the nirvana of disdain you are. And I think that's our first round, folks.
That
So,
is.
what's our total runtime as far as our recording going? 'Cause we're up to 9 now. What did we say we were going to play till 10?
We are up to. I don't know.
Wow.
It doesn't have anything to easily track exactly how
It said
far.
it started streaming 78 minutes ago, so
Yeah.
We're up to. I forgot to hit the record.
Yeah,
button.
we're at 1:17, 1 hour and 17. What?
But do
maybe
we?
hour
do we
20?
not- Are we not
Oh
recording?
wait, there it is. Sorry,
No, he's done that
1:18:22.
once.
Oh,
We're at 1:18:22.
I was giving him shit.
oh, okay. That would have been hilarious. Well, I mean, even if we don't record, I think this has been a really good playtest. Like, I'm enjoying how well it's all working.
Don't worry,
together.
don't worry. This is being recorded. and there are people There are 2 people watching.
I hope you're enjoying the show. Okay.
Because we
So-
are.
So that was round 1. Now we're at round 2.
Do we roll our effort dice again?
Yep, you roll 1d10 each to determine your initiative order this round, and then you just roll your initiative again.
Come
now,
on,
you'll note that these guys are mostly dead. There's only 3 remaining.
Come
so
the
instead of-
fuck on! I
Oh my
got a 1 again.
Beautiful. Well, I don't have to update yours then. Nuke still lame. Okay.
I rolled a 2.
I
2?
didn't re-roll when I told it to re-roll the 1d10 because I accidentally rolled a 1d0.
Huh.
So I'm gonna go ahead and roll
Okay.
my effort die.
There we go.
So,
Yeah, so I'll name you and then ask for your initiative is how I'll do this. I don't recognize anyone's voice because I suck. The troops got a 4 this time. Look at them.
Yeah, at least I got a pair this
Wait,
time.
can I just remember something? Can I retroactively grab one of those die to throw into my previous die to throw into my
Do your effort?
focus?
Yes, go ahead.
All right.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that too.
I'm gonna throw the 7
Wait,
into my.
We can do that?
I was wanting to ask
Oh.
about that. At the end of my turn, I still had a one die left. It was a 6. Is there anything else you
Yeah,
can do
you can
with
put
those?
that in your effort. Yeah, you can
Okay.
take a single die, put it into your effort pool, and just hold it until next round.
I'm
Those
gonna throw.
actually stick around basically as long as-
I'm gonna throw the 7 into my focus.
I'm
Then I'm gonna
saving
do
my
that
6.
too.
Very good.
Saving mine as well.
All right, now you got. And now. Yep. Also, at the end of that round, I should probably not forget to give you all your prana back. So whatever you're going to recover, that's how much prana you get to add to your pool. So whatever you have left over from spending that round, plus an additional 6. In addition to that, since you've been fighting, you may, although you don't have to, open up one of your chakra of your remaining, however many you have left out of your 7.
So I've got
And
8
that
now,
will
essentially.
Okay.
'Cause I
That
only
will
spent-
increase your recovery by, I want to say, 6 more. So this next round you'll be getting even more prana back.
Yeah.
So all your numbers move around.
I have, but so we have another chakra. Then? Oh,
Yep.
Just checking.
Yeah. Now in the if these guys were more dangerous, you would have to worry about your chakra becoming injured or blocked by imbalances. They are not, as you've noted. I don't think anyone's actually gotten hurt so far, even though several of these guys have exploded under your incredible kung fu powers. This should be
I'm
around
just
where you guys can
waiting
really
for
see.
my 3 to explode. That's all I'm waiting for.
Yeah, and there's only 3 remaining, so they're all fighting you.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. So Nuke got a 1. Desert Sage, what'd you get for initiative this time?
8.
8? Ooh, look at you.
Yeah. Well, I have the 2d10 thing. So I
That's
get to-
right. I forgot.
Yeah.
Here, quick draw.
Yeah.
Nice. My good Silver Prince, are you so disinterested in this combat you will not be joining this round?
Pretty
'Cause
much.
you can just float your happy ass into the saloon and get a drink. or
Also,
whatever.
I mean, I
I'm
rolled
gonna-
a 2, but I'm pretty much just gonna go fuck you all.
This time I'm gonna bid the 4 just to bring my initiative up. 'Cause,
Oh, it's
come
gonna go to
on.
14. I would wait for it because they got a 4.
I got 1.
All right, so we'll get to it in a second. Stoneblade, what's your initiative?
I'll be right back in just a minute.
Okay, cool. Let's put
Oh,
a question
that's
mark here
me.
for now.
Sorry. I'm where's my initiative? I got a 6.
6, nice. All right. And how about Hero?
I had a 2. I'm going
that's a-
to bid my 7 because
Oh, you guys got right on top of it. That's awesome. All right, that gives you a 17. Anybody else want to bid? They are not going to bid. The bad guys are happy with their 4.
Okay. So I can bid my 14?
You may.
Yay.
All right, so that boosts you up pretty considerably.
All right.
I think
wait,
it means
Dude, then.
so
it
wait,
basically means that everybody is going before the bad guys, except for Prince, who is completely done with this shit and will float into the nearest saloon, where everyone will be terrified of the magical floating blue child in their midst.
okay. So when a power says the total area covered by the flame is equal to 1 target or a single piece of scenery, does that mean I could target that whole group of them? That's left.
Well, whenever they're grouped together like that, yes. If they were individual powerful characters, it would be no. You'd only have to be able
Yeah.
to choose one of
Yeah,
them.
that makes sense.
With group, they kind of have to. Yeah, there's a weakness and a strength to being in a group. The strength is that they get to roll a big pile of dice. The weakness is that they're one big target. And as you can tell, it can get really effed up. If,
Yeah. So how many are in
results
that
of
big?
that.
How many are left in that big group?
There's 3 left in the group, and everyone else is dead.
All right.
Dead.
Fire discipline motion, and I'm using the 7 that I
Actually, I think Hero is. I do think Hero is going first. At
Oh
17.
god damn.
no.
You know what? Fine.
Someone rolled a 9.
I'll bid another
Yeah,
5.
you
I'll
guys
bid
are
another
correct.
5 so I can go.
Well, I mean,
Oh yeah, right.
okay.
No,
okay.
So
that's
Never
right,
mind,
that's
never
right.
mind.
Yeah.
want to switch it around, that's fine. Like, because you're all going before them, so like, unless there's some reason that you don't want him to go first, you can have Nuke go first.
Oh yeah, I it's because Nuke wants to just dominate them with overwhelming force.
Question. Is there some way where we could go at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, you'll still be taking your actions individually, but yeah, it could be at the same time, just be coordinated like that. As long as you are before your enemies and like kind of close together, that's fine.
Does that work with you, Steven?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
so you guys
so,
tag team them. Who's gonna get
yeah.
glory?
All right.
Yeah.
So
Before I attack though, I would like to say one thing.
Sure.
He's gonna look at the 3 that are left. He's gonna stare them all 3 in the eyes separately, and he says, "This is for what you've done to the 5-star spirits."
Nuke just goes, "Let's
And then-
fucking." Nuke just goes, "Let's fucking go!" and just blasts fire at them.
I would, since I have the 12 and I have a 9, I'm gonna use 3 gates closing finger.
Awesome.
All right. As he's doing that, I'm using fire discipline motion with my two sevens that I got, one from my focus pool and one from that I rolled, giving me a total rank of 37.
And I have a total of 29 because of my advantage.
Nice. 29. Now, what does 3 gates closing finger add to the ranks of that? I think that's one of the most powerful ones.
That is what I'm. Okay. It adds. Okay. You start a foe's secret first request, filling the prana meridians with destructive vibrations. Rather than damage, the skill creates an aggravation towards prana catastrophe balance. So that's what you use after the pressure point strike, basically. It adds more aggravation.
Sure. I get you. And it looks like it is a rank 3 itself. So you said you got a 29?
Yes.
So that's a 50.
I'm adding a,
59.
oh dear.
Yeah, so 37 and 59. Guys, they have 30 health left.
Like I said, look, Nuke's thing. From the last version I read, Nuke's way of doing things is show overwhelming force at all times.
Oh yeah.
And I want revenge for my clan, so I don't care if they didn't cause me
This
or
is
not.
overwhelming. So okay, what'll happen is you'll blow the fire on them. They'll begin to die while you're dancing through the flames, my good hero, and just pressing pressure points wantonly. They have a moment where they all freeze, stock still as the flames are devouring them, and then explode in spectacular fashion, fountaining this entire area in their entrails. So at this point,
Burning entrails.
the remaining burning entrails. It smells delicious.
It smells
Anyway.
like bacon.
It smells like my house is beginning to smell. I turned my oven on and everything smells like sausage now.
Oh, delicious.
You say it like it's a bad
Anyway,
thing.
I mean, I do love sausage, so it's a mixed blessing. I smell other things, but at the same time,
Nuke just gives
sausage
you a
is a great
fist.
smell.
Nuke just gives you a fist bump on the way past.
You'll take the fist bump.
Okay. Well, the bedraggled and now incredibly surprised resistance fighters raise their fist in cheer and start shouting in joy at the arrival of heroes who can actually rival the power of the Shadow Vipers. And this cheer is actually taken up by all of the non-terrified a blue psychic child members of this village, who are starving and otherwise in dire straits. The few remaining Shadow Vipers mercenaries that are hanging out by the tanks pop their heads out, see the wreck you've made of their friends, and turn around and hightail it further into the west, going back to parts unknown.
Oh, I'm chasing down.
Very good.
Yeah, he's just.
What do the rest of you guys want to do while while he's annihilating them.
You just see gouts of fire coming, just like flashes of light as gouts of fire are coming off her. Just like, die, motherfuckers!
Ooh, that's mean.
You know, I will. I'm going to go over to the Gold Lion people. I think this is what you call them, right?
Yep, the knights.
I'm gonna go over and see if like any of them are wounded and stuff. Because being the last of my clan, I know what it's like to see your friends and your families hurt and die and stuff like that. I'll make sure any are injured, and if they are, they get proper treatment.
I get you. They yeah, and actually,
I mute myself.
this isn't unfortunately on the character sheet right now, but I keep having this one playtester who insists that he can use all of his fauna destroying attacks to heal people, and he actually has done it with such frequency that I forgot that I didn't actually write that as a rule. And so I was like, well, you know, this is actually adding to gameplay. So as a result of his insistence, you can now use your prana catastrophe stuff to heal people instead of hurt them if you choose to. So I don't have that written down in this version yet. This is still kind of an early test version.
Then I'll do that.
But there's a special power that you have.
Yeah, sure. I'll go ahead and do that. Healing by pressure.
Yeah, they only have beautiful. They only have minor injuries and bruises. Mostly they're hungry, but that's not uncommon, unfortunately, in the post-apocalypse. And they're flabbergasted by your technique. Like they never seen anything like it. Lou the Bright, the guy that's in charge of them, actually comments on it. He's like, "Where did you learn your techniques? I know some of these." Like he recognized Atomic Dragon Fist, and of course he bows to you as a superior in the My Good Michael. Actually, they might recognize you. Let me roll a d10 here. You have some notoriety in your clan based on your degree. So the way that works is you just roll a d10, and if you roll equal to or less than your rank, you've been heard of by the people in your clan. You're only degree 1 right now, so they have to roll a 1 for it, but let's see. Actually, roll a 3. Your reputation does not yet precede you, but they do notice your style, so they're just like, oh, master.
Sadly, no one else knows this style of fighting, because the Shadow Vipers wiped out my entire clan. Wow, I feel like Naruto.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
God.
And they don't understand the history, and they don't quite get the depth of that, but they do sympathize with you. They're like, yes, the Shadow Vipers have killed our families too. We joined with Luckless Schwan in his outpost to receive training so we could bring the fight to them, but they were too much for us. We're so glad that you arrived when you did, because they were going to execute us.
He's gonna put a hand on the leader's shoulder. Anything for a clan that's at war with the Shadow Vipers, I'm willing to help anybody who's fighting them, to be honest.
Curse you, Shadow Vipers!
Khan!
Curse you, Itachi!
Yeah, it's always so awkward whenever you're across the table from the Shadow Viper that you can play.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're an ex Shadow Viper, so it's okay.
Not if you play hero, it's not.
Are any of the
No, they claim they're an ex-Shadow Viper.
Yeah, they're actually the spy.
Are any of the fleeing Shadow Vipers? Did they like totally, or do any of them seem to be hanging around? Or
well, let's find out. There's about 4 of them left, and they're flee as a group. So I'm gonna roll agility to see how far they get.
Didn't I chase them down? Aren't I chasing them down?
Yeah.
Blasting them with fire?
Just running down a tank.
Well, they're hooping it on foot. The tanks actually don't have any ammo or any fuel in them right now.
Yeah,
I'm actually going to scroll up to movement and agility.
I've been chasing them down.
All right, so go ahead and roll your effort. We'll do some out of combat.
I can throw out an electrifying wink of God.
Oh, and
Oh,
I
that's
forgot.
right.
I
You guys
forgot.
are-
Oh yeah, I forgot to add something into all these things I've been doing.
Oops.
So,
The fact that
my
I have agility and endurance as masteries.
Anytime that you take an agility action or an endurance action, you get a bonus.
Yeah, so that's a
because,
30. So that's a 38
oh my god. Okay, so
to chase down these losers.
Oh, they're toast. These guys are so toast. Okay. Anyway, I'm actually gonna
Luckily
have to.
for the people who I use the pressure point strikes for, I don't have spirit mastery, or else that would have been a 67
Ooh. Oh my god.
or 69. Yeah,
69, baby.
luckily for them.
All right. So agility, they got a 15, so that's not super great. That's just rank 1. They run at 12 miles an hour. That's not too bad. You got a rank 3, you said?
Total 37.
37. Okay, so that winds up being rank 3, so you can actually run at 28 miles an hour, as fast as the fastest living human being.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so you're
Okay,
on them
Usain.
within seconds. They actually don't fight, they simply beg for their lives. And it's up to you what you want to do with them, because they are completely at your mercy.
Well, it is my way of doing things to show overwhelming force. Yeah, isn't it a thing that I can get extra karma by showing mercy to my detriment?
I took that out of this version of the rules because I know it is actually kind of fun to do certain things and get rewarded for them, but I don't know. It tended to get groups to kind of split up and fight too much. So I was like, all right, I'll streamline that.
No,
I may put it back in. It's not too late.
I think it's good to put in because I think it adds to the role playing, and B, it also gives a way to get some bonus XP, and it helps, like, even if there is infighting, it helps drive narrative,
Yeah, true.
Driving,
Yeah, like, I'm
driving
pretty much fine.
I think it's fine to drive conflict, as long as it's not like, as long as you're not allowing someone to be that guy, then I think it can work.
That's the thing. I don't really mind a little bit of bickering and infighting. Like, I did put in the mortal enemy of the Shadow Vipers with the Shadow Viper, so I'm not beyond that, But
Right.
it was mostly the lack of focus that I objected to. I was like, but we'll see.
Yeah,
We will see. It's still getting cooked. So if I can get a version of it that I really like, then I'll go ahead and put it in. As for now, the whole thing is delivering the package, which I'm willing to bet everybody forgot about.
Yeah. So,
Sadly, I have not.
I have not either. So she's like crouches down in front of these guys who are just like groveling, and she's like, "Oh, you want mercy? You want mercy? Is that what you want?"
Yes, that's exactly what we want. You described it very accurately. You were correctly intuited our desire after we pleaded for it.
Only
Well done.
only scrubs beg, bitch, and just torch him.
You could have gotten karma for this for the version of the rules. So the fun actual consequence of that is, since they don't get away, the Shadow Vipers will not know about your presence. So that's kind of cool.
Huzzah!
It really sucks if Flesh Eating Sage starts gunning for you. Oh, speaking of
Do
Flesh
not-
Eating Sage, let me actually pull his thing up, because one of the things that sucks that he does is he is in the middle of doing a ritual to summon Naraka to join his armies. Let me pull that up real quick.
Naraka.
Naraka, Indian hell.
Sounds like a Naruto ripoff.
Well, it's actually an ancient Indian
No,
mythology, but whatever.
That actually be
They
Hero,
predate it by a
that's
few years.
That's the Naruto ripoff.
Maybe just a little bit. Nah, ancient Indian mythology totally ripped off Naruto, and you don't even know, man.
That's exactly the
I can't-
that's
I
how it
can't
works,
believe they went and ripped off Naruto like that.
I know that yogis always running with their arms behind their backs and all that. I mean, like, come on. Really got inspired
Well,
by
to be
Naruto.
fair, Naruto did steal from Indian mythology for some things. So
As have I. Thank you, Indian mythology.
Thank you, Indian mythology. You're so useful. As have I, technically, actually.
It's a rich
I don't think I
mythology.
have.
You get
Uh,
good.
you-
You find
Need to
some
up your
good.
skill game, sir.
Turns out you find some good creatures in Indian mythology, such as Rakshasa.
I've mainly stolen from Norse mythology. Then again, I'm also
Everybody steals from Norse mythology. Even Marvel
Norse is a
steals from
fun one.
Norse mythology.
Hey, yeah, 40K steals from like all mythologies.
yeah.
40K steals from Dune, man. Dune is what they steal from so hard.
Oh,
I
well,
noticed that
yeah.
because when I was writing the stuff for my little Dune game, I kept like looking around and making sure I wasn't just plagiarizing just Dune. And yeah, as it turns out, almost every single thing that's in the backstory of Dune is just straight up the backstory of 40K. It's unbelievable. It's like, wow, you guys
Yeah.
didn't even have one.
All right,
original
let's
idea.
keep
Yeah.
moving along. Let's keep moving along. Let's go deliver the package. Let's go. Let's deliver the package.
Mostly.
We
You know,
haven't even finished the first area, and we're an hour and 40 minutes in. We only just finished the first area. Come
That's
on.
good.
We are going through and doing like learning the game as we go.
Oh yeah,
so
that's
it
true
makes
too.
sense.
That's true. Yeah.
and part of this, you'll recall, is me like making certain of explaining the game to an audience that isn't even technically here yet.
This is
So,
true. This is true.
Taking much longer than it usually would. And
Right.
you notice that in that second round, we were really zipping through. But I do want to point out
Oh, yeah.
that the lines that you say of the Knights Errant will point out to you that the guy that they're at war with, the flesh-eating sage, has begun a really powerful ritual. That's actually the information they were going to deliver to Luckless Schwan, which they now can. And they point you to the west, where the other lines, where the Vipers are trying to flee to, and past the edge of the box canyon, there's this ruined city, and you can see an ominous black spiral pattern cloud hovering over the center of it. Occasionally, a flash of multicolored lightning will arc through it, and they're like, you can see right there that the ritual is beginning. We have, they dramatically hold up their fingers like so, 7 days until it concludes, at which point, who knows what evil will be summoned forth. But we know that the already mighty flesh-eating sage, who already has incredible armies and tanks, will then have whatever additional power this demonic force will give him, and will start rampaging to the southeast into the lands of the Golden Lions. So we have to stop him within that time. So they actually plead for you to join their cause and follow them to the southeast to Luckless Schwan's fort. You may go if you want to, or you can do whatever the hell you want, because I'm not going to tell you what to do. You're adults.
I think
Okay.
Stoneblade would like to while everything else was happening. I think she's probably going to try to ask around to see if anybody knows anything about Heaven's Tier.
Yeah, I'm gonna say let's Nuke having arrived back after having sprinted after those guys. I'm going. She's like, all right, ritual going down. Let's kick that guy's ass.
I will fight I'll fight anyone who's willing to fight against the flesh-eating sage. So I'm in with you. Someone go grab the blue child.
She just like cracks her knuckles again. She's like rolls her neck a little bit. She's like, ain't no fucking warlord piece of shit gonna be summoning demons into my wasteland. Let's fucking go.
Nuke,
Man.
why don't you
This
go
is a
grab the
great
floating
gaggle.
blue child for us? You have a way with words.
Floating.
So as I got into the bar, I just telepathically tell the bartender, "Give me a meal."
Just go inside. Yo, blue child. Let's fucking go. We're gonna kick a warlord's ass. Let's go.
Oh yeah, whenever you get in there at that point, like, because as soon as you're able to talk to people's minds and what have you, you've stood a little while in there, they get real impressed with you real quick. So they've kind of made a makeshift sort of throne thing for you, and they've piled up different victuals and things, and money and offerings. Some of them have lit some incense to pray to you. So yeah, you kick in the door, and they've already begun their slow descent into culthood around your.
Oh, God.
So that's what greets him. If you're asking around for rumors of Heaven's Tier, what the local legend about the thing is that it was wielded by an ancient hero, and it was cracked in a combat against some kind of evil demonic thing. The demonic thing was destroyed. Unfortunately, the weapon vanished into the tunnels below the world and hasn't been seen in many, many eons. Now, it was rumored to have last been seen here, but it was underground. So, my good desert sage, was there anything special you wanted to do while you were walking around? You know, I think I overlooked you earlier.
Um, no, of course, just more keeping a general eye out.
I getcha. Well, yeah, the lions will generally congregate around you, and like whenever they plead for you guys to help them, they're specifically asking you. They're like, Master, Luckless Schwan lives up to his name and is in dire need of your help. Our clan faces a dire threat here. You've arrived just in the nick of time. Clearly, you're a master of some capability. Will you join our fight? They know better than to assume that you're going to, so they're begging.
Yes, of
for
course.
the audience, Luckless Schwan is his battle brother, wasn't it?
Yes,
What it says in
yes.
the thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Wanted to make sure that just wasn't. I'm reading things wrong.
So what do you say? I got my desert sage. You're here to repay your debt of honor, you big coward. You're gonna tell him no and be like, nah, man, I'm the delivery boy. I got other things to do. F off. I'll let you in your indecisiveness for a while. Meanwhile, Nuka's already begun the crusade.
Yeah. Yeah. Nuke and Hero are just off together about to crusade.
Go, son! And that's the thing. There are a lot of legitimate different directions to go now, because you can try and investigate more about the Heaven's Tier, since you actually have kind of a direction down. You can go look for that. If you want to zip off to the southeast, you could go and see what Luckless Schwan is up to and rally with his forces. You could begin going to the Devil City to just kick some ass and beat desert flesh-eating stages face in, which looks like it might be a dangerous prospect. Or you can continue to the south with the package and deliver it to Two Souls Bow, which is the thing you were actually hired to do, but neither I nor any of you seem to give a crap about. So whatever direction
Yeah,
you
I
guys
don't,
How
I don't
far
think we're going to.
away is it
Are we?
to the south?
I want to head to Soul's Bow because he's the one who's rumored to have created immortality.
True. You might want to make that known to your very zealous party members who seem to have a different idea into their head about this whole ticking time bomb thing.
To take to get to the to finish this delivery.
Delivery can wait. We got a time limit. We're gonna do it in 1 day, boys. 1 day.
So
Who's grabbing the child?
Record breaking. This guy won't even know what hit him. But he won't even know. But everybody else will know. It's me.
It's just
they'll see you coming a mile away.
Just a mile away, running at him, setting everything on fire in my path. It's
Well,
that.
to be fair, they might see,
It's that.
they might
It's
see her running from a mile.
You know what?
away.
Let me
It's-
To
rephrase
be
that.
fair,
Let's see you coming 10
Can-
miles away.
it's that joke. It's
can
that
they
joke
do
about
anything
breath.
about seeing her though.
It's that joke about Breath of the. It's that joke about Breath of the Wild of just like running straight for Ganon, naked and screaming, setting everything on fire on the way. Dude,
that's exactly the way I'd want to play that game, though.
Dude, it's hard that way.
For Breath of the Wild for that too. Okay, so continue role playing. You guys basically have to figure out which direction the party want to go. Or
Duke's already gone. She's on her way.
It's already
She's
gone.
on her way.
I thought you were getting the shot. I thought you were getting the.
Yeah, she
the
screamed.
top
She already went in and
bar.
screamed. She already went in and screamed at him, and now she's just booking it.
kicks down the door, splits. So Nuke is running, just howling towards the west.
Fire spewing from both hands.
You know what? For once, I'm with Nuke on this. I'm gonna follow her lead and run.
I'm seriously tempted to go after them, pick them all up with telekinesis, and then just fly away.
She will set you on fire if you try.
That's
You got pressure points, man. Use your telekinesis whenever you're going through the prana thing. Forgot what it's called.
He rips itself apart. All right, now actually, I need to see where the next place to go is, because there's a couple of different directions you can go. Let's see if we get any trouble in the box canyon. Ooh. Ooh, do.
Trouble?
So,
I
looks
don't know
like
what
I'm
that.
following
Me
them
and Nuke,
away from where I want to go.
Hero and Nuke don't know what trouble is.
Yeah, we go. We going. We in there.
Be gone. Ooh.
We're gonna show up and
That
he's gonna be like, wait, what? And then we're gonna just kick his ass into the floor.
Quite possibly. Actually, I happen to roll trouble. Occasionally in this game, when things are happening, you roll a d10 as a GM to see if something bad arrives or something unusual arrives from one of the surrounding areas. This is called trouble. Now, there's been some debate about the best way to approach this. Currently, it is you roll a d10, and if it is over the trouble number, then trouble arrives. Another version of this that has been put forward, which I am dubious about, is the higher the trouble is, the worse it is, since you are trying to roll under it. I like my version the best because I'm conceited. That's not necessarily that it's better. I'm just a jerk.
Your game.
All right, let's go.
Rules. All right, so, and to the great benefit of our audience, trouble did arrive. Happened to roll a 10, and even though there's not usually a ton of trouble here, as you guys run screaming towards the west, you get closer to the next part of the of this particular tract, which has Yemen the Elephant Eater in it.
Oh boy.
So, unrelated thing, it seems like there was. I'm just going to kind of freestyle this a little bit, and actually should put some more robust descriptions that allow other GMs to do this. But as it stands, I'm going to just do this off the top of my head because I'm kind of used to it. There was a convoy coming to resupply the tanks that you guys saw here. So there's actually like a big giant Mack truck looking thing, and a group of 4 little dune buggies that are just festooned with bad guys. And on the front of that truck, driving the thing, is this massive, like, cow-sized muscle man. This inverted V of huge swollen muscles with a shiny silver mask and an extremely suspect ponytail. With a chainsaw axe and proudly flies the banner of the Shadow Vipers.
All right.
But yeah.
So
I feel like that chainsaw axe would be a really good sneaky weapon.
Upon seeing this, Nuke like looks at Hero, and she's like, "You take care of the chaff. I'll go for the big guy."
No. I take care of the big guy. You go for the chaff.
No. He's mine. I tell you what, I'm gonna kick his fucking ass.
How about this? We take them together, leave the others to deal with the chaff.
You know what? Fine. That sounds like a good plan. Let's go.
So here's the fun thing. You guys are now outside of the field of Scrap Village, so you're actually kind of in the broader area of the tract. Now, the way that works is because not every place is pre-designed, what you do is you go to the description of the tract and you use that to kind of cobble together a field on the fly. So you're further out from Scrap Village, going to the kind of generally going to the west. And if you look at the text description of Box Canyon Valley, which is where you're in the tract, it is a valley of hard-packed earth and standing stones, which rests in the dusty bottom of a massive box canyon. Swirling gray crowds of grit and ash, buoyed by unearthly thermals, sting the eyes and shroud the sparse buildings and natural standing stones that pockmark the bleak landscape. So, from that, I can glean that there is going to be a swirling crowd of grit over everything, which means we're still in a very easy place to sneak in. There are occasional stalagmites jutting up like broken teeth. There's a sort of a road that's mostly like a dirt trail that's winding through them. And there's also occasional empty tin buildings that you guys can hide in or otherwise demolish. So that's the surrounding field. And again, you just take the description of the track and you just kind of make a field out of that. So, very easy to do. And since you guys are going to ambush these poor fools, I'll go ahead and roll their initiative, and I highly recommend you guys all do the same.
I got a 7.
Look at you. Well, who is I in this case?
Me, Nuke.
Is that a...
Nuke.
Nuke got to 7.
Nuke
all
got
right.
to 7.
Man, they rolled a 0. They suck. Although I guess a 0 is 10 with initiative, isn't it? So that's actually the best roll they could possibly have got.
Prince got a 5.
Hero got a 4.
5. Hero's got a 4. What'd you get, Desert Sage and Stoneblade?
8.
I got a whopping 2. Stoneblade got a whopping 2.
My good Stoneblade. All right. Well, they rolled a pretty impressive 10, so they will actually be going first, unless you guys have some kind of shenanigans you want to pull. And actually, I need to pick up this guy's dice because he's kind of a meanie.
I'll sack this 5 to go up to 15.
Nice. All right. So, which one are you again?
Nuke.
Nuke. Oh man, up to 15. Beautiful. Let me roll this dude's dice. Actually, I'll look it up because I didn't know.
This guy, if this works the way I think it does, this dude might be getting pummeled into the dirt in 1 turn.
A question
We
really
shall
quick.
see.
At the beginning of a new combat, I'm assuming that effort just goes away, like the effort die we set aside.
The focus, you mean?
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
The effort that's in your focus slots. Well, here's the thing. Whenever the scene changes completely, it will. But we're still kind of in that same scene. You know, we haven't really, it's not really been like an act break. You guys haven't taken a big rest. So you actually get to keep all those dice for right now. Now, that's kind of a judgment call on my part when a scene ends. It's kind of organic. But I really feel like we're still in that same time period. So yeah, you actually get to keep them in this case.
Okay.
Look at you.
Nice. In that case, since you said there is a lot of places to hide around and skulk about, can I use that die with the 2 6s that I just rolled to go ahead and hide before, or as we're going along the way for
Absolutely.
336?
That's really good. All right. So you're hitting for 36.
Hero will be a 4. So 14.
So the 14 total?
Oh,
Not too shabby.
Yeah, I'll let Nick go first.
She seems pretty enthusiastic about the
Since
idea.
Nick wants to demolish this guy.
Actually, writing down this dude's stats from my.
I'm gonna have to find
Let's
clothing
see.
like heroes because I'm gonna have to cosplay this dude. I like him too much. I like heroes.
Jesus Christ, you're roboting out really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so are you ready for this?
I think we're ready.
15, so I go first?
Actually, just give me one more second. This guy's got 11 health. I gotta write down real quick. 1, 2, 3. I'm doing little scrolls. 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's mean.
Oh, he's gonna feel this one.
3. And he goes. Total of armor 5, so he's armor 15. Got all of these guys completely done, so I'm kind of freestyling their powers real quick. Did I actually write down any more than just the bare minimum with this attack? This one, 1, 2, 3. Oh my god, I totally did. I'm the best. Okay. Rad. I'm really happy about this. This guy's full suite of powers. Okay, I'm ready to kick ass.
So she's just rushing into this big mass guy, just swinging an elbow straight into the solar plexus first for a skull crack surprise.
Beautiful. All right, let me roll his dice.
Let's
see what happens.
Ooh.
It's 8.
I wasn't lucky, but I did get a 9.
I love that makes you roll a die. That's what I love when the techniques do weird things. That's like my favorite thing.
So that's going to use one of my 1 die attacks, and since that's endurance, that counts as a 29.
29, not too shabby. Now remember, you are not adding your mastery to attacks. Attacks and skill checks are distinct things.
Then why is it list the skill for under the attack?
Because it's more than just an attack. The techniques are encompassing things, much like the effort pool. They represent this kind of broader mystical martial arts drill that you know. So there's one of two distinct ways you can use it. Number one, you can use it like you're using it right now as an attack, in which case you'd be able to add a weapon bonus to it if you had one, or advantage to increase its rank. Or alternatively, if you just wanted to use it in or out of combat as a skill, you could use it to boost your endurance and boost it by the ranks of the technique.
And
Now, that's actually also the only way you can break the higher levels of the technique chart. You actually can't get past, I want to say 11, unless you use a master level or higher technique to actually push you well beyond mortal capability into the realm of the gods.
Right,
But if
okay.
you, yeah, the higher levels of the even I think it's only the very cap of mortality in the document you guys have access to. But you'll note the highest range, what those are able to accomplish, is pretty superhuman. So it's a really useful thing to do, and like with endurance, when it comes to fighting in combat, it's really useful if you find yourself fighting like in a vat of acid or an active volcano or in the middle of a nuclear explosion, because you can kind of ignore those elemental things going on and continue kicking ass while everyone around you is melting. So keep that in mind as a secondary tactical use of your abilities.
Right. Okay. So anyway, so that'll be a 19 then.
A
Since
19,
it's not,
okay.
and then
Let's see here. He's actually going to use his effortless defense to defend against that one. He's wearing armor unlike the other chodes, and although he only has an effortless of 1, his armor of 5 makes it a total of 15. So he's only going to take 4 damage from that. You'll smack him right in the face. He'll spit out some blood through his mask and say, "Interesting."
well, as he's doing that, he's getting a burning piston strike right into the face as a follow up.
I said, "Die, you son of a bitch."
Because I got a 10, so that counts as a 0, which just lumps straight in as for
so
another 20.
Oh, no.
And does that count as a bonus action?
Yes, because it's rank 2. So that's basically a free one. Now, he is actually going to use the advantage that he has from sitting on this like high perch of this like battle wagon he's on to twist his head to the side. This uses his advantage now. He can't use it again, but it actually increases his defense by 1 rank. So your burning piston strike hits the like kind of molded throne thing behind him, destroying that and singeing the sides of it. But he is unharmed by that second strike.
So then here comes strike number 3 with a flurry of fists with that 2 that I've got.
Yeah, baby.
Christ.
Yeah, no, this is Nuke's thing. She hits you a lot.
So that's another
man.
That's another 22.
22, eh? Let me see if he has a cool defense I can use. Oh, he'll use foe mocking gesture to try and humiliate you. So this is a technique of his. It's actually a novice level 1, so it costs him 3 of his prana, of which he has 9. So I'm gonna actually make sure I'm recording that very carefully. Otherwise, I will completely forget. So costs him 3 prana to do this. Here's what this thing does. It requires either an arm or a weapon. He has a free arm, and it is a facing 0 to 3. Well, he has a 3 here. It's rank 1, so this 13 that he has with a 3 will become a 23, and it deflects a foe's strike under its effect, but the additional effect it has is if your defense exceeds the attack by 10 or more, they lose advantage or gain disadvantage as you bat their pathetic strike away with ease. Now, unfortunately, it does not exceed yours by 10, so you do not gain disadvantage, but he is able to bat it away more or less effortlessly. So be careful of that technique.
Well,
Because,
I'm draining him of all of his resources, so now my buddy can come in and just stomp his ass.
Yeah.
Well, so far,
Because I can do a lot of attacks too.
Let's
True.
fucking go, and that'll be my turn. I'll save my what is it here? My 7 and my 6 for some defensive options.
Good thinking. All right. So who's going next? That's a good question.
That would be Hero
I think
with a 14.
I do believe that is correct. All right, Hero. Do your magic, sir.
So, I would like to do Where is it? I would like to do a pressure point strike on him at first
This is a
with
good target.
let me see what my other ones was. Do I have any bonus? Did I use my 9 last time? I don't think I did. So, yeah, I'm going to use my 9 on him. So that would be 19.
Nice.
Plus, I'm going to add advantage. So 29.
Yep. All right. And don't forget that the rank of the technique that you are using is also going to add.
Okay, so 39.
There you go. Yes. So
Yeah, I
a
forgot about
flurry
the
of blows.
ranks.
You got a ridiculous 39 to whoop this guy's butt with. If you got forget of anything, do not forget about the ranks that your technique's at. It's extremely vital to how the game works.
And if that doesn't
all right,
finish him off, I still have a lot more.
we shall see what finishes them off. Let's see here. Have any expert level stuff? You know what? As you launch forward and use your once left in the world techniques at him, his eyes go wide and he says, "I know that technique." He activates. Let me see. What's he gonna do on his turn? I don't think he has enough prana to do silent spider legwork, but he does have enough to use some defenses because he's got Demon's Skin defense, which is a facing 4. So he will use his 4 to use Demon's Skin defense, which gives him a +1 defense. So he gets completely defensive and starts like blocking as quickly as he can. So his 14 becomes a 24. What was the rank of yours again? What was the total?
39.
39. He takes an unfortunate 15 aggravation from that. Now, as you'll recall, you don't just do injuries with yours. You create imbalances. Chronic catastrophe imbalance. Yep. So this is actually a really big deal for him because when an imbalance first is created during a round, you don't have the option to drain away your effort to kind of compensate for it, which you get at the beginning of every round. Since you can't do that, what you have to do is take the dramatic penalty, which means that whatever is described under it as the dramatic penalty is a thing that is true for the rest of the round. So in this case, instead of merely disabling an arm or a leg, you paralyze him totally, and he can't take any actions whatsoever aggressively because of this technique that you've used against him. At all, even though it's only a rank 1 imbalance.
Beautiful.
Yeah, he's just like,
Well, you know what I'm about to do then? I am now about to use my lightning fist. I'm going to use my 2 7s for 27 plus it's rank 1, so 37.
all right, so here's the delicious part of this. All right, as we noted earlier, with the prana catastrophe, when he is paralyzed by it, he has disadvantage. Now, advantage you have on your character, and you spend it to get a bonus to one of your actions. Disadvantage really sucks because you have it on your character, but everyone else gets to activate it. So on your turn, you can activate his disadvantage and get a +1 rank to one of your attacks to beat his ass, and so can all of your friends. So, a pretty good opener.
I'll do that then. I'll activate his disadvantage then and make it a 47. And because that's rank 4, that's a bonus action, right?
It is a bonus action, so you've not even used all of your normal attacks yet. You're starting to see how much ass these characters can kick. All right. He will attempt to use his 25 to ablate as much of that damage as possible. So that is 20... Let me see. What is that left? I'm so bad at math. I'm so sorry. So, it's 47, so that's 27, so that's 22 left? I think that's right. 22 that gets through. Now, is that damage or is that more aggravation?
That's damage. It just says a swift punch.
Okay. So, kapoof, kapoof. All right. He'll actually use his aura to absorb those guys. He wants to keep his health.
Okay.
Because every time he loses a health, he will get another imbalance or make an imbalance worse. So, like, say he took that with his health. That's 20 damage at 2 health levels. You could have disabled one of his limbs. You could have disabled both of his limbs. You would disable a leg. You could have punched his torso into bloody pulp, or his head, and given him a deadly imbalance, which gets worse as he fights and slowly kills him. So he's very afraid of that eventuality happening. So even though he's flopping around like a broken spine.
One
Yeah, go
more
ahead.
thing. I have. Can
Sure.
Yeah, I can do another pressure point, right? Like you can
As
do two
long as
pressure
you have enough
points?
prana. As long as you have enough
Okay,
prana to
and-
afford your techniques. I think you have
And
6.
is
don't you?
this? Didn't you or? Oh, does it reset after each combat? I thought it was the same thing with the other stuff. It doesn't reset till the change of the scene.
Well, your prana respires very quickly. At the beginning of any new round of combat, if it's not like a contiguous round with the old one, then yeah, you will actually completely reset it. So you're back down to whatever your basic pools were. Health takes a
Okay.
little longer to get back. You will actually have to rest for a few hours to get your health back and your aura back. And imbalances heal very, very slowly. After a full night's bed rest with some decent medical care, you actually only reduce the aggravation on an imbalance by 1d10. Now, of course, you can.
Okay,
You can
well
take an
then
action.
I guess I'll just punch him normally with a. Let's see what I have. Do I have another 9? Let me see if I have another 9. I do not. Sad. So I'll just punch him with an 8. That's all I got.
Well, he's got an 8 as well. So he will use his 8 to block your 8, and take no damage from that as your fist hits shiny metal faceplate in that case.
And
What's happening? Honey.
Okay, no, I get 1 additional. Yep, and that is my turn, I believe. And I'll carry the rest over.
That's
My
beautiful.
7, my 2,
Oh man.
and
Get
my
rocked, boy.
my 1 and my
Oof.
5.
All right, yeah, he's only got
No, my
3
2, my
dice
1 and my
left. I think it's his turn now. So roll a 10. All right, so all the
isn't he
bad guys here
paralyzed?
that aren't him, he is paralyzed, but there's still some stuff he can do. So he can still talk, as you'll recall. And all the guys here, all of the other people that are like driving these 4 dune buggies and all of that, all of those are his minions, so they will act on his initiative. Nice, clean way of doing things. So he will order them to do stuff on his behalf. He's got 3 dice sitting here, and he can't really use them. Although he can put them in his focus if he wants to. I think he will do that. Just save those for next round. And he'll order them to do stuff. The 4 guys in buggies will take out guns and begin to shoot at you 2 guys since you're like standing there on top of them. And he's going to have his driver slam on the brakes, which unfortunately sends him spraying off of the front of this thing, but it does get him out of the line of fire of all of these groups. Now, rather than rolling giant piles of dice when you have bad guys that are like mounting weapons like this, you can just take the rank of certain weapons. In this case, they just shoot with a rank 3 each. So there's 4 dune buggies. That means both of you get 2 rank 3 bullet attacks, as just the front of this truck thing is just peppered with high caliber guns.
Let's see if I have any
So,
3s
deal
to
with
help
it.
increase my. I do have a rank 1, which gives me all direction defense. I don't know if that increases
That does
anything
increase
though.
it by 1. It does.
Okay,
So that
so
goes from
that's only
2.
2.
Yes.
Plus
Let's
the
see how you
rank
guys
says
deal
it's a
with
1 as well. So would that be 3? The rank of all direction defense also says it's a 1. So does that increase it by another 1, or am I just confused? So would that make it a 3, or is it still 2?
Let's start at the beginning. What is the set you're using to defend yourself?
All direction defense, and I'm using
just the dice?
my 5. 5. Just 1 5.
Okay, so you got a 5. All right, so it's just a single die at rank 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or a single die at facing 5. Okay. So, and you have a defense charm you're using on top of that, a defense technique.
Yeah. Actually, wait, no, I can't use my 5 because I have to have 0 to 3. So I'm going
That's
to
right,
be
'cause
using
you
my
might be-
2.
Okay, so you got your 2,
So facing
and
2 with
you're using the
all direction defense. Yes, all direction defense.
Okay, an all direction defense. Okay, so that will increase it from a 13, which is what 3 normally was, to a 23 to defend yourself. That's really good. 30 minus 23 is 7, so you'll have 7 damage to deal with from that first attack. So the bullets fly at you. You're able to block some of them because, super martial arts. But unfortunately, some of that damage gets through. Now, you can either buy that down with your aura, which does not ever turn into any wounds or anything like that. You're taking imbalance with it, and it recovers relatively quickly, or you can take it with your health. If you take a full 10, though, and lose a health level, you'll start getting imbalances from the injuries. So it's your call, and you're not going to get any of those HP back in this combat. So you may have to be careful how you
block with
ration.
my aura.
Right, very good. There's a second set of rank 3 coming at you from the second dune buggy. So you're able to block that one, and these other guys come in, and a bunch of high caliber rounds come in.
I will do the same thing, but use my 1 this time, so 21.
Not too shabby. That's 9 more damage, though. You still have enough aura to cover that?
Yeah, I have 2 bars of aura, so I should have 4 left. 4
Yeah,
little points of aura on 1.
But just not to undersell what just happened, you leapt onto that truck, paralyzed this huge mountain of muscle, and in terror, he made them stop the truck where he toppled off into his face, just going head over heels. 2 dune buggies filled with machine guns open fire on you, and nothing hurt you in all of that. Just so you're aware of how cool you are. Nuke, how are you dealing with that exact same scenario? Do we lose our nuke?
While he comes back to life, I would like to yell, "Oh, feel the might of the previous 5-star spirits."
I think he's pretty fearful of the might.
You better be fearful of the might, because it's dynamite. I hate myself for that.
No, it's okay. That's totally acceptable in this playtest. We're getting kind of late, actually. We may have to wrap this up before too much longer, because I think that unless this circumstance is considerably better for him, I think that this guy's either going to be a casualty of war or a prisoner of war at the end of the rest of this round.
I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's got basically advantage. Well, he's got disadvantage, so basically everybody's got advantage on him. So it might just become a casualty.
Yeah,
Sorry, there's a side question. I was looking at the sheet, and it says on my form, Berserker Sutra, it says trick 0.
Yeah, so if you roll a 0, you can use that one.
He's
Does
dealing
that
with a toddler
like
meltdown.
part of your? Does it have to be like part of an attack or something, or is that completely separate?
It has to be an action, so you have to use a set that is facing 0 to make that work.
Okay, you can't use a single die.
You can use a single die as long as the facing on it is 0. So if you rolled a 0, then you with that.
Branching off of that, actually, if I rolled 2 10s, or 2 zeros, which is what I did, so do I have to use both of those in that case?
You can use one or both at your discretion.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to
break up sets
grok everything.
Oh yeah, and that it is kind of weird because of the way that the dice work in a kind of unusual way, and it's good to ask questions like that to kind of get the feel of what is intended with them. There are some strange things about the way the dice math works and the consequences that has for the value of given things that you roll. And I had to think that stuff through very thoroughly, especially when it came to playtesting. So the forms that you guys have got now, the forms and the powers, are all based on literal years of me not only thankfully I didn't have to do the math on this. I actually found a site that did the math on it for me. But having that math in front of me and also running different permutations of dice pools and costs and prana and just all kinds of stuff. So I'm actually really pleased with how well this is all working. I like this lower prana starting out because it really makes you think more tactically in the opening rounds. And then round 2 and later, you really open up and crazy shit happens. So
Right.
So, question: if you have one prana left over, and then you have the recovery of 12, do you have 13 in the next round, or just 12?
13.
Okay.
Yeah, you keep all the ones you don't spend, and then you get extra ones.
Okay, so just like the dice then.
And for actions, if you want to take, like, if I want to make 2 different techniques, my Heidi stab thing and my arm and weapon attack, I can do both of those if I've got 2 sets that match the criterion, right?
That's correct.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and in the higher sets, the ones that give you like ranks of 3 or higher, those, because they're already rank 2 or past, you don't even have to have dice that match with them. You can just create those out of like just nothing.
Okay, I think I'm back.
Okay.
The toddler has
cool.
Settled down briefly.
It's totally cool. I've went through 2 toddlers myself. This is a completely acceptable thing, and we actually covered some really good ground as far as like talking about the way the rules work, and I got to brag about myself some more, which I always like that.
Anyway, was I supposed to roll initiative again? Oof.
Actually, you were getting shot
yours
at.
was damage.
Oh, I was getting shot at.
There's two rank 3 machine guns opening fire on you.
Yeah,
your pal Hero didn't get any damage from that, so he looked pretty awesome.
Yeah, I can't really stop that.
Ooh, that sucks.
I can soak 10 from a defense, 10 from my aura, and then 1 health's getting knocked out.
All right. So that's the first one. You unfortunately get one of your health levels torn apart by that one. Then there's another rank 3 machine gun that sprays into you. Are you gonna get a rank 4 torso imbalance as the bullets?
I've got another die that I can throw to reduce it down to 2, but 20 health's going bye-bye. 2 health's going bye-bye.
Well, that's still pretty impressive. That means you're sitting there just getting pumped full of bullets of like full-on submachine guns, and it sucks. You're bleeding, but you're not going down like a normal person does because your body's fortified with prana, baby. You do unfortunately take a rank 2 imbalance, though. And the dramatic penalty you'll be taking this round is that your guts have been punctured by a whole bunch of bullets and you are bleeding to death. So you basically got to double over in pain, cough up blood, and otherwise ham up how much you are hurting. And unfortunately, because this is a deadly imbalance, what it's going to do is increase by 1d10 per rank at the end of this round, because you're having to do the dramatic thing. You'll note that doesn't actually inhibit your actions aside from just changing the description, but what it's going to do is keep getting worse until it kills you.
Can I use a descriptive thing to fix that?
I'll get to that in a second. I mean, I'll have to run me through exactly what you're trying to do, but in the later rounds, you actually at the beginning of the round have a choice. You can either take 2 effort off to compensate for the rank of the imbalance and not to worry about it for that round, including not getting any more damage, or you have to describe your wound and take the damage. Now, if they were hitting your arm or leg or something like that, instead what it would do is disable that limb or take the effort away. So that can really suck whenever you have techniques that are key to that. So if they disable your arms, you only have arm-based attacks. Unfortunately, you should probably suck the effort penalty. But no, go ahead and run me through what you were wanting to do as far as blading it with a description. I'm interested.
Well, I got. You said that I was bleeding out, right?
Yep.
I got 6 prana now.
Hmm?
Can I use fire discipline motion to just cauterize the shit out of my guts?
Oof. That's pretty awesome. I would consider that a very unusual use of the technique. I'm not against it, but I'd have to think about exactly how that would manifest.
Well, I mean, like, just to like, I would still be like fucking sucking wind and be really beat up, but no longer bleeding to death, or maybe even just reduce the bleeding.
Your guts. I mean, you're gonna end up with what do they call them? The little bags, because your guts are getting fused together. So eating's not going to work too well.
It's not bad for the interim. So here's what I'll do. I'm going to allow you to use it to kind of tank the injury. It will make the injury worse overall, but you'll be able to ignore it. Ignore the bleeding to death part.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I'll go with that.
I'll take that.
So, all right. So, you cauterize that. I'm going to make it 1d10 more aggravation as you burn yourself. And I unfortunately rolled a 10. So it goes to rank 3. So you actually hurt yourself considerably worse. But you are not dying any longer.
Yeah. That was all I was going for, frankly.
But not too shabby. Okay. So we're through 3 whole people's actions so far. Look at us. All right. Desert Sage, my good man. You have a sprawled Shadow Viper warlord paralyzed at your feet, and 4 dune buggies that have parked and are opening fire on your friends. They have skeleton crews of 4 Shadow Vipers apiece, but they are not well trained like this dude who is in a unfortunate heap at the moment.
I'll kill you all. How dare you use your powers this way?
Meaning that he's not
This
going
guy
to
has
stay.
never survived the first encounter anyone has had with him. Anyway, moving on.
All right. So yeah. So meaning he's not going to stay paralyzed.
Yeah, he's probably going to get up at the beginning of his next turn and just suck the single die worth of penalty. It's really not that bad. It's just that when it first manifests, it completely tags you for that round. So it's a really.
That's if I don't do it again next round if he's still alive.
All right. So yeah, I'll strike him.
Don't forget he's got disadvantage, which gives you another rank.
Right.
Per round.
All right. So so basically, this first round, I can just use my form, and so the facing 7. That's just strictly just. It's not like 7 or higher. It's like 7 strictly, right?
It's only 7 in that
Only
case.
7.
It's very
Okay.
strict. Yeah,
Well,
forms. You'll note that because forms are free, they have a much more restricted range of dice that actually help you.
Okay.
But that encourages you, as a martial artist, as you grow in your career, to learn different forms, so that you actually kind of effectively get a broader range.
Oh, okay.
Continue.
Okay. Well, I do have 1 7, so.
Nice.
But yeah, and so yeah, so I'll and then
Stabby.
yeah, stabby. I get a +1 rank, and then +1 for a balanced Grand Blade.
True. And you also get +1 because of the disadvantage,
Oh, right.
making your
So
making
4
your
to 7.
free initial attack 47 against this guy's poor undefended back. He can defend himself with this 17. That's still, what is that, 23 damage he's got to deal with? Ugh, that's not good. All right. So, he has 8 he can ablate with his remaining aura, which leaves us with 15. So that is a single health level gone as you stab him as he tries to flail away, and he gets cut. Now, because he's low health level, you get to tag him with an imbalance. Imbalances do one of 3 broad things. You can either target them to one of his limbs, arm or leg, or into his torso. As you saw with Nuke, if you hit his torso, he begins to bleed to death, which kind of sucks. This rank of the imbalance isn't super deadly, because he's got a lot of health, and he could bleed for a while before he dies. But if you disable one of his limbs, he has to either choose to lose effort dice equal to the rank of the imbalance, which would be 1 at the beginning of next turn, or lose the use of that limb. So if he has a punch-based power that requires both of his hands, and he's missing one, he can't do it. Actually, switches off some of his tactical options. So I'll let you choose how you want to injure the guy.
All right. Yeah, I'll go for one of his arms.
All right. I'm going to go with left arm. Make 1 in balance. Ouchies. Ouchies! He screams and bites.
Ouchie! Oh! Me,
I'm telling Mom.
me big hurt.
Yeah. And yeah, as I So yeah, as I slice them, I roar like a lion.
Yeah. That's metal.
Roar.
Exactly.
I'm a mean kid.
Roar. XD. Roar XD.
Fear the roaring lion.
That's right. With my golden
God,
glow.
I really should give Desert Sage a snarf character who has some kind of little dude that's hanging around with him. Snarf, snarf.
Oh look, it's Puck with his best friend Guts.
Yeah,
That was a wonderful pairing.
it was.
Yeah. I need a squire.
Yes, he needs a squire.
Sure. Well, I don't know, man. Lou the Bright was pretty into you.
I
so
feel
you might
sorry for that squire.
Squire, clean all this blood off my plate. Less of me. There's so much blood, Lord. There will always be. All right, so my good Silver Prince, it's actually your turn now.
Blood.
Okay. I have to remember what the hell I rolled.
Brother. Yeah, that's why I like having the dice like physically on the table because I can just.
I
look
don't
at
have a bunch of D10s. I only have
Neither
one
do I.
set.
Sucks. Well, you should be able to. If you've done the rolling here, you should just be able to scroll up. And see
Yeah,
it.
it's right there. I had to
Okay.
double check because it had been so long. That first
So I
round
don't need
took
to
a while.
quite as long as it is.
Yeah.
And if it says rank 1, it gains 1 extra rank, or
You got it.
okay.
Yeah, as long as you can use that, whatever it is, it will gain 1 extra rank. I'm really, really digging these new Prana rules, by the way. It makes these the initial rounds of the combat a lot closer to the power level I want to see in the initial stuff. I'm a little concerned with how much recovery I've given everyone. It seems like a pretty big number.
No,
I
I
may
like
have to-
that. I like that though.
So if it says, like, if you use one of the abilities that says rank 1, that actually adds 1 to your rank too, on
That's
top
right.
of its effects.
Yeah, so it should do both. It's gonna
Oh.
and you also get the effects. Yeah, techniques can rule.
Do you have
Okay, I
to?
missed that in the last one.
One. Techniques absolutely rule.
Gotcha.
You have to
yeah.
maintain a like telekinesis. You have to maintain it with a new casting each round.
Well, the thing about the telekinesis is that you can kind of just do it whenever you want. It's more or less just an extension of your normal abilities, like walking or grabbing stuff with your hands. You can just point at someone with your brain and talk to them and invite their talk
I
back.
said telekinesis, not telepathy.
Oh, okay, the telekinesis. Let me see. It depends on if it's sustainable or not as a keyword. Certain
It
techniques are
does say
sustainable.
sustainable.
What's that?
It says selectively sustainable.
Selectively sustainable. Okay, so that specific one, actually, it's a keyword I just invented for this particular technique. The selective part is in the effect. What it does is that it allows you to levitate yourself as long as you want to maintain the action. Now, it's going to take one of your focus slots to do that, but it's extremely useful to be able to like hover across difficult terrain or get to hard to reach places or stuff like that. And especially whenever you're fighting on dangerous terrain, like over a roaring river or something like that, it's nice just to be able to more or less effortlessly not have to deal with that crap.
Okay. So I'm floating up on that throne that the tavern made me, up
I am-
above everyone.
I legitimately love this art of the Spiteful Prince. It looks so good.
Just legs and arms, legs crossed, hands in my lap, just whatever. And let's see, I have to double check how much weight rank 2 lets me pick up.
It's a good idea. Actually, that's something I'm supposed to be doing as the GM, so allow me. Just gonna scoot on up here.
2. About 1,000, up to 1,000 pounds. Wait, no, that's 3. So rank 2
2
is
and 3. Remember, that's rank 2 and 3. We'll let you do that much.
up to 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
So
To 1,000 pounds. That's wonderful. And it gives you
He's gonna
examples
lift up a
too.
car.
You can go a
Yeah.
grand piano or a cow, punch hard enough to crack an oak tree in half. So yeah, with your mind, with anything you can perceive, you can apply enough force to crack an oak tree in half. Or if you see a cow, you can just throw that cow, launch it. Lavosh.
How many of the mooks are around?
There are a total of, let me see, 4 mooks per buggy, and there are 4 buggies. So, what is that, 16 mooks?
I'm guessing that's like 4 separate enemies, right? I mean, 4 separate like groups.
Yeah, there's basically 4 groups of these guys.
Okay, so
they're-
I'm gonna pull all the mooks out of one of the buggies and throw them at another buggy.
True. Well, how much does a normal person weigh? Probably less than 200 pounds, right? So yeah, actually 4 mooks is within that 1,000 pounds.
Yep.
So you can just be like, get out of there, thwump.
And then just
Then
pull
honestly,
into the other buggy.
yeah, now, and at that rank, the thing is, they do have the ability to kind of defend themselves.
Yeah.
Because when you're reaching out like that, you're kind of using an element of your own body. I mean, it's not actually attached to you, but it sort of is. So kind of think of it like a mystical tendril coming out of your brain and grabbing them. That's something they can kind of wrestle with.
Yep. It's a 20.
Now, I didn't actually roll their dice. 23? So I didn't actually roll their dice initially, so I'm going to roll them now. I'm also going to be consistent in my ruling that people that are mounted inside of vehicles get to have advantage against those that are not. So I think that's a reasonable ruling. Oh, they actually get a 28. Yeah. Alright, so you're at a 23, you said?
Yeah.
Alright, they actually have a 28 to defend themselves with, though they will manage to withstand your psychic probing. But yeah, the whole buggy rocks, and they're actually having to like grab on for dear life as you like pull them with your mind. And again, I can't stress this enough, it doesn't look like you're doing anything. They're just struggling with some invisible thing they can't understand, and they are pissing their pants about it.
I'm deciding if I should use Ghost Light. No, wait, no, I don't have the Prana, so I can't.
Ah, that's right. You're not enlightened. You're not enlightened. If only you were enlightened, you'd be able to kick considerably more ass. Isn't that right, Hero?
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to save my 7. No, wait, I can't because I don't have the spare focus slot. I want to stay floating, so I don't have anything else I can do.
I thought you were a cunning hero. You should have 2 focus slots.
I do. One's using to fly, and I start with a 1 in a focus slot.
True. If you want to move that out of there and replace it, you absolutely can.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Just so you're aware. Okay. And actually, they just bring it to the bottom of the round with Stone Blade. So.
Can I sneak attack the big guy that's on the ground right now, or?
Absolutely. As a matter of
Before
fact,
I
you
do
did
that,
be very
though,
surprised.
so as I'm leaping out of the shadows, can I scream myself into the Berserker Sutra?
Absolutely. I see no reason that you can't.
Awesome.
Especially since you are going last, you're going to notice that's a big advantage because they can't take advantage of the fact that you've sacrificed your effortless defense.
Right.
So you just get to be Berserk. Berserk!
Going Berserk, moving out, and using my, what did we call it earlier? The Hy-Vee stab thing?
Heidi stab.
Yeah, Heidi stab thing.
Heidi stab
good old
thing.
Heidi stab.
Let's see, and I'm going to use... I've
Don't
got
forget
2
to take your
6s, so I'll use the
free
2
rank
6s.
as
Then I get
well.
+2 while I'm hiding, +1 for the rank, and +1 for the weapon, so that's 6. I have advantage, so that gives me 1 more, right?
And
And
he
he
has
has-
disadvantage. It gives you another one.
So that gives me 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's
That's
8
8.
total. 86, right?
And here's the even worsest part of all of that. Even if he had an ability to defend himself with a technique, if you are being attacked from stealth, you can't do that. You just don't get it. You cannot use your magic. You can use your normal defenses, which he will attempt to do, but he otherwise cannot defend himself. So the best rank he has to defend himself is this 11. I think he does 82 damage to him.
86, because I got 2 6s
Damn.
to start
Alright,
with.
so he has to suck 75 damage from Meat Drinker, which is a ludicrous amount of damage. She does.
And that's
I
strength,
feel
right?
like in the
That's deadlift
Berserk,
2 tons.
when she does flip out of the shadows and goes berserk, I think she probably screams something along the lines of "Meat drinker thirsts."
Well, its thirst is quenched. It's buried inside this guy in a fountain of blood. He
That's
takes a
strong enough.
ludicrous rank. Yeah. Yeah. He takes a rank 8 imbalance. This is enough to kill 4 mortal men. It sounds like a torso injury too. So, but it's up to you where you want the meat to be rank from. You can cut his arm off. You can de-leg him. However you want this to manifest.
Yeah, I
Drink
like
his
the
guts.
one of his arms is disabled, so I think I'm probably gonna go for the legs. I don't want to get him back up.
All right. So, I'm gonna give him his right leg.
That's
He is
strong
rank
enough
8 in
to
punk.
throw a car.
Mm.
My
And it just slammed right into this
God.
guy's defenseless gut. Yeah, he actually only has one
Legs.
health level left at the end of this round. Oh, legs. And those are some very deeply injured legs. I think this is probably a good place to wrap this particular session because this guy's toast. I mean, even at the beginning of the round, he's got 2 extremely nasty imbalances in his face. He's got 1 health level left. He's totally outnumbered by you guys, and
There's a nuke
there's
coming.
interesting cards. Yeah. So I think at this point, they're more or less at your mercy. We could run it out if we wanted to. We'd probably get another really good round out of it if we really wanted to. It is late enough now. We've almost got an hour after when we said we were going to. So I'm going to say that's a pretty good first session.
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I got a good feel for the game.
Definitely.
Poor Jim
I
involved in
enjoyed
here.
it.
He never lived up to his name.
I really need to back this game and get a physical copy.
Yes. Give me your money, all of it.
Give
I
me
might
your
would
money.
if I had money.
That's fine. I mean, if you just want to tell people about it and just honestly give them your review, that is worth its weight in gold to me. Getting the word out and getting honest reviews about it is the most important thing. Now, if you want to throw money at it, if you can, that's amazing, and I will get you a really cool game, as you noticed, as a trade for your ducats. If you don't have money, hey man, your word is worth a lot too. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Especially
Well, like I
if you
said,
genuinely have fun.
feel free to
Blast.
spread this. Feel free to spread this video wherever you like. If you want to use it on your Kickstarter page, that sounds cool. If you
I'm
want
about
to
to
use
turn this into the herpes of the internet. It's going to get spread everywhere.
it, good.
Okay.
All right, and with that, we'll end it there. Thank you all for watching, and thank you, Joel, for coming on and running this for us.
Oh, that a great
And I go back Lone Wolf Fists on Kickstarter because this game is going to be pretty kick-ass. It's already met its funding goal, so you're guaranteed the product. Just go back it.
Yeah, this thing is inevitably happening now. If we manage to get another $1,000 or more, I'm just gonna straight up double the art budget.
Yeah,
I haven't
do
put that
it.
in as an official goal, but I'd really love to pack this thing apart. And if it's
Do
already
it.
funded, I'll pay my artists a little more.
Hey,
Hell
I love that
Pretty
idea.
good artist too.
yeah. All right.
Artists recommend.
Hey,
But-
more art is always good.
But
good
yeah.
for me.
Oh yeah, it is. It really is.
All right. Thank you all for
More art
watching.
always
And
good for any game.
well, now Joel, I've scratched your back. Now you gotta go watch my stuff.
Bro. I mean, if it's all this good, I'll
This was
watch it
the
all.
agreement.
All right. Thank you all for watching.
But,
Tune in next time. Maybe we'll do more of this. This is a pretty cool system. And we'll see you next time. Thank you. Thanks and bye for now.